Picked up. Bledsoe. Fade. Right side. Glenn's alone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Cowboys. Cowboys are not ready to die. Snap back again. Right side. Intercepted at the 45-yard line. Down the sideline. To the 15. To the 10. It's a touchdown. It's Roy Williams. Touchdown. It's Roy Williams.
Another in a season-long string of close encounters for the Dallas Cowboys. Monday night's win over Philadelphia, and the Cowboys come home to Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, to take on the Detroit Lions. Cowboys and Giants tied for first in the NFC East. The Lions even with the Vikings trailing the Chicago Bears in the NFC North. Dick Stockton along with Daryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa, and the Lions seek back-to-back wins for the first time today against Dallas. Very impressive was Joey Harrington. He gets the nod at quarterback as he was last week against Arizona. Very tough game on the road for the Lions against a Dallas Cowboy team in the midst of playing 3 games in 11 days. They can ill afford to look past this Detroit Lion club. But, you know, let's rewind to Monday night. Still reverberations over that dramatic finish at the end. What did it all mean for the Cowboys?
Well, in my opinion, it means that Dallas has taken another step to become one of the teams to watch in the NFC. We've talked a lot about some other teams out there, but we need to start talking about the Dallas Cowboys as one of the top teams. They went on the road against a divisional opponent and found a way to win a game in which they had been outplayed for 56 minutes. That is a huge step in your progression to becoming a playoff caliber team that can challenge for the conference. Now, when you look at Detroit, a lot of people felt that that's what the Lions were going to be this season. Many people had the Lions winning the NFC North and becoming one of those teams that could challenge some of the top teams in the National Football Conference, but that has not been the case. You look at the offensive side of the ball, the talent that they have at the skill positions. I cannot figure out why this group is not playing offense more consistently than they are up until this point this season, and it's going to be critical today because they have a number of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. They need to put up points because, Tony, it's not just the defense that's going to be affected by these injuries.
You're absolutely right, Moose. You know, everybody knows that how injuries go and affect the team. But I think when you have injuries like the Detroit Lions on defense, linebackers, defensive backs, it not only affects your defense, but special teams. That's an area where I'm going to really try and focus in on today because I think that's where they can really get hurt in today's game.
All right, Goose down on the sidelines, our sideline analysts. But right now, coming up, it'll be the Lions and the Cowboys. Ready to go at Texas Stadium, where the Detroit Lions lost the toss for the first time this year, so the Cowboys will get the ball first. And Jason Hansen will be kicking off for the Detroit Lions. This is the 5th straight year these teams have played each other. Cowboys have won the last 2, the Lions victorious in the previous 2. Back deep, Tyson Thompson, number 28, Terrence Copper, number 18. And we're underway in Big D, and it's a short kick, and it's fielded by Thompson, the rookie. Flag goes down from upfield, and Thompson is tackled at the 27-yard line. After a 22-yard return, Ed Hockley and his crew working this afternoon's game.
Ed Hercules.
He looks pretty big.
During the return, holding by the receiving team, number 88. 10-yard penalty. Dallas ball, first down.
So with Brett Pierce going back and guilty of the foul, the Cowboys will start inside their 20-yard line. Drew Bledsoe leading the NFC in passing rating. It's a career-high completions. And if you saw the end of the pregame show for the fantasy pick, Daryl Johnston knew what he was doing because Drew Bledsoe is having an outstanding year.
A career year, maybe.
First down, and the handoff to Julius Jones. What a run on first down for Julius Jones, who returned to action last week and appeared in the second quarter against the Eagles. Gets 18 yards on the first play. And, of course, against the beaten-up secondary, the wide receiver should come up big today.
Yeah, they really should. And you talk about the linebacker level and the possibility of the running game being effective, but I really think that these 3 guys in the passing game should have big-time performances this afternoon. That's why I went with Drew Bledsoe. He's been very consistent all year long. And when you go into a game, there's matchups that you have. You're trying to find a position or an area where you have a better matchup. I think it's at wide receiver versus the Lions secondary.
First down on the 34, and again they go to Jones. Off right tackle, another first down for Julius Jones. John McGraw starting at free safety for Terrence Holt makes the tackle, and what a start. 30 yards on 2 carries, and you were talking about the injury-riddled secondary.
And you see that they got 3 starters that are out of the lineup. Dre Bly, Fernando Bryant, Terrence Holt. Terrence Holt, game time decision. He couldn't go today. So, Detroit thought they were going to get one guy back, but he's not there. And, yeah, I know they've started out with 2 big runs here, but I think it's just a matter of time before Drew Bledsoe takes advantage of a secondary that's kind of beat up.
Marion Barber now is in the backfield. And a first down at the 46-yard line in the first pass of the game. And it's caught by Terry Glenn. And Glenn knocked out of bounds short of the first down by a yard by cornerback Andre Goodman, who's playing today, but he was inactive last week with a sore hamstrings. 500th career reception for Terry Glenn today, who leads the NFC in yards per catch. Coming on late is the tight end Dan Campbell. 2nd down and 1 in Lion territory, and Julius Jones looks like he'll be stopped short. Good play by Dan Wilkinson, the defensive tackle, and that will bring up 3rd down and again a yard.
Well, that's what you saw in that opening play when Julius Jones got on the perimeter. Now, when you play against Detroit, that's an area where you want to try to look to exploit, because they've got Sean Rogers and they've got Dan Wilkinson down inside. 2 big bodies that are going to clog your running game between the tackles.
Today's matchup between the Cowboys offense, Lions defense even, and where they place the ball, they're going to have a measurement, and they may have picked up the first down looking where they spotted the ball. Just inches. Bill Parcells, who with a win today would tie Paul Brown, the great Paul Brown, one of the great innovators of football, for 9th place for the most victories in NFL history.
Well, I think the big thing is that he's done it at a number of places. He hasn't been a coach who's been in one place for his entire career. Down here in Dallas, you had Tom Landry here for his entire career until Jimmy Johnson came in and took over. But Bill Parcells has done this in New York, in New England, down here in Dallas. So he's got a system that works all over the NFL.
3rd down and inches. First down on the quarterback sneak by Bledsoe to the 43-yard line of the Detroit Lions. Cowboys, by the way, looking to win 3 in a row for the first time this year. They have won 4 of their last 5, Daryl. The only loss was that heartbreaking defeat at Seattle on the late field goal.
I thought it was kind of funny down here in Dallas. It's like they had to apologize for their victory Monday night against the Eagles. But, people forget that they had that same thing happen to them against Washington and against Seattle. So I thought it was great that Dallas was able to hang in there and find a way to win a game late in the game when they were outplayed.
And a first down, and here's Jones trying to go off the right side, but making the play is Dante Curry. And a loss of 1 on the play. And as you saw earlier, the Cowboys have almost matched their rushing total from last week against the Eagles. They only gained 9 yards on the ground in the first half, 38 throughout the game.
Well, Philadelphia has done that to not only a couple of teams, but a couple of really good running backs. They really took LaDainian Tomlinson out of the game they played. So, Philadelphia is a good run defensive team. They blitz. They do a lot of different things that you're not going to see. Dallas is not playing that style of defense this afternoon versus Detroit.
2nd down and 11 on the Lions 43. Bledsoe getting time and throws up the middle to Julius Jones. Breaks a tackle, gets a first down close to the 30-yard line. Another big gain. This time the pass play to Jones, good for 13 yards. James Davis, the linebacker, missed the initial tackle.
Julius Jones is just going to come out. He's going to check down. Now, this is something that Drew Bledsoe said he was going to have to do well this afternoon. Because Detroit plays a lot of zone coverages, he was going to be forced to check the ball down. And one of the big concerns that Detroit has is because of these injuries at the linebacker level and in the secondary is their tackling. And they were worried about the short passes and having to come up and make sure tackles.
First down on the 30. Not to the eyes of Steve Mariucci. Not a good start as Jones again on the ground. And Jones moving Al Johnson, the center back, put his head down and got 6 yards. So the Detroit Lions, the victim of the terrific running on the first possession by the Cowboys.
Well, here's those two big guys here in the middle right there. That's Sean Rogers and Dan Wilkinson. Now, what you're going to try to do, you're going to try and come out here on the perimeter. Stay away from those guys as much as you can. And you see Dallas right there doing a good job. We've seen this probably 3-4 times already at this point in the game of running not only off tackle, but more out towards the tight end. The farther away you can stay from those two big guys, the better chance you have.
Well, that's exactly what Coach Parcells wants to do, Moose. He wants to get those guys inside running as much as possible, because as the game wears on, when you get in the third and fourth quarter, when you're a big guy, and I know a little bit about that, you start wearing down. And I think that's what he's doing right here, trying to wear those big tackles down on the inside.
And there's Dan Wilkinson, who is getting up after the play, a gain of about 3.5 yards for Julius Jones. And moving the ball smartly on the first possession, Jones goes out of the game. Already has 38 rushing yards on this first series. Marion Barber, who scored a touchdown against the Eagles, replaces him. It'll be 3rd and 1 at the 21. So a big early down in this game, and they go to Barber, and Barber, with the second effort, may have the first down. Dante Curry trying to make the tackle.
Well, Julius Jones has gotten off to a good start. He didn't get the start last week against Philadelphia, but he's taking advantage of the opportunity today. And that high ankle sprain has really affected him. He's come out this week and finally says he can make the cuts that he needs to be successful on the field. And if you watch during the opening drive, I think it's very apparent that this is probably the healthiest he's been since that injury.
No question. Still looking for his first 100-yard game of the season. It was a first down for the Cowboys. Marion Barber stays in the lineup, and the ball is on the Lion 20. Pretty good exhibition of ball control on this first series, and Bledsoe will use this point for a timeout. First time out of the game, no score. Cowboys driving. Will return to Texas Stadium after these messages. Back here at Texas Stadium, the Cowboys are driving. Tony, you're in the end zone where Dallas is going. What's it like down there?
I'll tell you what, behind me there's a big opening and the wind is blowing. I'm freezing down here. If you could see this, the wind is really getting, blowing right into the Cowboys' face. You would think with home field advantage that they would know this and want the back to their advantage so they can throw the ball downfield, but obviously that's not the case.
Daryl, you know something about that.
Yeah, well, they got the two big tunnels that come down, so I wouldn't be surprised if they stall here and they have to line up for a field goal. You see somebody running up that tunnel to hit the big garage door to come down and get that breeze to stop blowing in, because they'll be kicking into that wind that Tony's talking about right now.
What do I do? Do I stop them or should I let them do it, Daryl?
Well, it's the home field advantage, right? You got to let them go.
You can't let them go. You got to let them go.
All you got to do is press a button, and that'll put an end to that.
You just can't do it yourself, Tony. I mean,
Well, I'll tell you what, if it gets any colder down here, I didn't know that the weather was going to be this cold. I'm going to go up there and close it myself.
So Ed Hockley over talking with Steve Mariucci, and now in conference. Just for the record, Ed Hockley, who obviously has built up his upper body superbly, is an attorney when he is not refereeing NFL games.
Yeah. Get into a tussle with him in the courtroom.
But that's one guy I don't think a lot of guys want to run into. A lot of officials have been getting knocked down all year. That's one guy I think that can hold his ground.
On the field or in a courtroom, I would expect.
Probably both.
The 11th play of this drive coming up for the Cowboys. They have run 8 of the first 10. And Jones.
Dallas was not charged a timeout on that play. The play clock should have been reset to 25 after checking to see if it was a first down. So we should have set it reset it to 25. Dallas ran out of time. We will not charge them a timeout. The clock will now start on the wind.
Closing arguments from Attorney Hockley.
Home field advantage once again, Moose.
All right, so they do not get charged with a timeout. And it'll be first down at the 20-yard line. Cowboys officially in the red zone right now. Lusaka Polite is the fullback and blocking for Julius Jones, but coming in and spoiling it all is Nate Wayne, who is signed November 1st. Had played with the Packers and the Eagles, and he makes a play and knocking Jones back for a loss of 1.
And again, that's getting into the inside of that Detroit defense. That is their strength. And Dallas been very successful getting out there on the edges. That time they're running a lead play in between the tackles, and Nate Wayne just beats the guard to the block spot, gets into the backfield.
There you see the second down passing rating of Drew Bledsoe. He needs 11 yards right now from the 21. Play action. Bledsoe gets hit from behind, and the pass unable to hold on is Jason Witten, the tight end. He was wide open and would have scored easily, but chasing him from behind was James Hall, the defensive end.
Yeah, he gets a tremendous jump right here. I thought he was offsides. So he's coming from the blind side, so you're stretching it all the way out to the right side. Not a real big impact on the throw by Drew Bledsoe, but as he turns to do the throwback to the tight end, he sees James Hall coming right in his face. Had to have an effect on Drew to be able to get that ball, because Jason Witten was wide open on that side.
Witten had a big game last year, career high 9 catches against the Lions here at Texas Stadium. So third down and 11. And here is Bledsoe getting hit again, and this pass is knocked down. A flag is down at the point of contact. The intended receiver was Witten, the tight end, but Kenoy Kennedy there. And let's see if it goes against the Lions.
Well, watch the jump again. That time it's 92, Sean Rogers. So, hey, Tony, you're going to do me a favor. Listen to Drew Bledsoe.
The pass was thrown, illegal contact, defense number 40. 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
So it was John McGraw who is starting for Terrence Holt at free safety today, and a first down and goal coming up.
See if you can catch something with Drew's cadence, because that's 2 plays in a row that he's got guys exactly on time.
I saw Dan Wilkinson on that play, man. He was off looked like almost right before the ball was snapped. Both of those guys on the right side are getting they're getting something, and I'll find it. I promise you that.
We'll hold you to it. So it'll be first down and 10. It is not inside the 10-yard line. The ball actually marked at the 16. Peerless Price, who had his first big play in a Cowboy uniform last week, in the lineup right now, number 81. Hand off to Marion Barber. Marion Barber getting down to the 5, and he'll get a first down. Very impressive running attack, getting nearly 11 yards. Kennedy, the strong safety, prevents the touchdown.
There is nobody outside to the left once Marion Barber gets through the line of scrimmage. Larry Allen is able to get up to the linebacker level immediately, and there's really nobody in that area to come up and step up and make a play.
Remember, they're missing Earl Holmes. Actually, 5 defensive starters out of action. First and goal at the 6. Here's Barber. Marion Barber, touchdown. Six-yard score, and the Cowboys jump in front on their first possession of the game.
Against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys lost the battle at the line of scrimmage. Both sides, offensive line, defensive line. Bill Parcells had him in shells. They didn't practice real physically during the bye week. He changed that up this week. Even in the middle of this tough stretch of 3 games in 11 days, he had a physical practice on Thursday. You saw the dividends on that opening drive. Dallas dominated the line of scrimmage.
And Billy Cundiff, who was the kicker last year and waived before the season, re-signed yesterday and adds the extra point. So it's been a bunch of kickers and an impressive 84-yard, 8-minute scoring drive for the Dallas Cowboys. The eyes of Marion Barber. 7-0 Dallas. Cowboys lead at 7-0. Marion Barber with his 4th touchdown rushing of the year. Of those 84 yards, 57 were on the ground, 54 by Jones and Barber. So we'll see how the Lions answer, as Billy Cundiff, who injured the quad and was dropped and re-signed. Eddie Drummond, very dangerous kick returner, and a short kick for Cundiff, and Drummond from the 11-yard line on the return. And a good one for Drummond as he brings it out past the 35-yard line. 37-yard return. Lions go on offense for the first time. Pretty good starting field position for the Detroit Lions, their own 37-yard line. Joey Harrington. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions last week against the Arizona Cardinals. Starting once again. And flags are down, and look like confusion for the Lions, and we'll have a false start.
False start. Offense number 65.
Damian Woody, the right guard. So Joey Harrington, who wasn't even told yesterday that he was going to start, second best passer rating of his career last week against the Arizona Cardinals. And despite the fact that he is starting, Steve Mariucci says that Jeff Garcia, when he's healthy, is the #1 quarterback on this team. First down and 15 from the 32. Kevin Jones. Good cut to the outside by Jones, and he's brought down by the free safety Keith Davis. 5-yard gain, Jones, but he won't be the only running back. They've got several others, Moose.
No, they really do. Sean Bryson, maybe the most complete player on the Lion football team, and then Artos Pinner, he's going to get some carries too to keep Kevin Jones fresh for late in the game and also down the stretch late in the season. Now you look at this team and you see Roy Williams and Mike Williams and Charles Rogers and Marcus Pollard. You've got all these weapons in the passing game, but I think the offense is going to be built around that running back by committee.
Second down and 10. On the 37 after the 5-yard pickup, Harrington completes his pass to Roy Williams. So Roy Williams starred at the University of Texas, the 7th overall pick, gets nearly 9 yards. Terrence Newman makes the tackle. So here's the Cowboys up front.
Yeah, this is going to be the big challenge for Dallas. They bring guys in. They're rotating their defensive line. You got a couple guys in there for the first group. Chris Canty, Jason Ferguson from the second group that's going to come in. Now, what they're going to have to do, you keep those guys fresh during the course of the game. They've got to disrupt the rhythm of this Detroit offense, because last week, the one thing that they talked about, we finally got on rhythm, and that had a lot to do with Roy Williams being back in the lineup.
Multiple tight ends. Kevin Jones in the game. 3rd down and 1. Play action for Harrington. He's got a lot of time, and the pass caught, and it will be a first down to Marcus Pollard, the tight end, getting the 2 yards. And for a game break, let's check in. First time today with James Brown.
Hello, Dick. And after Carolina threw a pick, the Bears capitalized when Kyle Orton hooks up with Musa Muhammad on that 3-yard strike. Musa, of course, former Panther, and they are on top of the Bears at home, 7-0 over Carolina. Back to Dick, Daryl, and Tony.
Moosin against his former team, and the Bears in first place by 2 games in the NFC North. First down on the 48-yard line. Kevin Jones runs into his own man and will lose about 3.
Penetration by that defensive line up front. Dallas was one of the first teams to really get into a defensive line rotation, 10, 15 years ago. A lot of teams now, it's just something you see all across the NFL. But some of the young guys that they've got that have stepped up to play. Marcus Spears, great penetration on that last play. DeMarcus Ware, pressure from the outside. Chris Canty's a guy I think that if you watch the Cowboys as a young guy, you're going to start to hear a lot about too.
Loss of 2 officially. 2nd down and 12. They spread the defense, give it to Sean Bryson, and Bryson breaking a couple of tackles, and he gets a first down. And nothing but praise for Bryson when we talked to Steve Mariucci last night.
Yeah, well, I'm almost converted. I was a guy, I got to play with Emmitt Smith, and you had one guy behind you the whole time. But when you talk to the Detroit Lions, and I think they've got a guy like that in Kevin Jones, but Sean Bryson, they say, is such a complete player. He's such a hard worker. He's such a professional that he's earned the right to get more snaps during the course of the game. So it's something that they're going to have to work through. Kevin Jones, a great back, but you can't deny Sean Bryson, an important member of this Lion offense.
14-yard gain by Bryson, but Jones comes back in. First down on the 40. And here's the play action again, and going deep. And the jump and the catch by Roy Williams, and now incomplete. He may have been out of bounds or did not have possession, but a flag is down at the 10-yard line. And Aaron Glenn, who started at cornerback for Anthony Henry, covering on the play. And it appears to be an offensive pass interference call against the Lions.
It's amazing to me that Roy makes this catch. That is the potential on the outside. And the one thing that's been missing from this Detroit offense, you've got all these big vertical threats down the field, big physical guys.
Pass interference offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty, you see first down.
You just don't see this the stretch vertically down the field. You can see right there, a little bit incidental, but then it gets rough. But look at the concentration at the end of the catch by Roy Williams. That's what makes him special.
Something else that makes him special is he looks like a giant next to Aaron Glenn. I saw him yesterday in the meeting, but he looks a lot taller today than he did yesterday. Wearing that size 16 sneaker. I don't know if he has high heels on him or what, but looks like a giant out here.
He wanted to be a running back at one time, and Herschel Walker was the player he admired most growing up.
He's a physical specimen, and it's going to be tough for Aaron Glenn out there. One of the big reasons they wanted Anthony Henry in the lineup today was to maybe, take away some of that size advantage on the outside, because you talk about the athletic ability of the Detroit wide receivers, but they're all 6'2", 6'3", 6'4".
You're right. Henry, who was inactive with a groin pull last week, practiced on Friday, but was a little gimpy, and so Glenn again starts at the cornerback position. They wanted to check the spot of the ball, and right now it's at the Lion 49. 1st and 20 coming up. There's the veteran Aaron Glenn, who did a good job against the Eagles on Monday night. Troy Edwards, number 16, the 3rd wide receiver for the Lions, lining up. And there's Harrington on the slant. Great catch by Roy Williams to the 35-yard line, picking up 15 with Newman on the coverage.
One of the guys that Aaron Glenn has helped out is Terrence Newman, because he's kind of similar in size. He's on the other side against Aaron. Now he comes over to Terrence Newman's side. Good route combination. Terrence is a little bit late getting to the point where the catch is going to be made. Not a real great release by Roy Williams, but you see the respect that Terrence Newman is giving him at the line of scrimmage.
Right now a 4-man defensive line with Jason Ferguson in the game. They're going to run it with Kevin Jones. And Jones is brought down by Greg Ellis from behind after picking up 3.
You wonder who the leader of this offense is. That was one of the things. You look at a team, and you talk to Tom Rathman, the running back coach for Detroit, and he said, we really don't have an identity yet. I think a lot of people expect us to be this down the field passing team with our wide receivers, but we're not. We're trying to establish it with the running game, but they're having a tough time finding that guy that's going to step up and lead by example on the field and be that tough guy, every day, every Sunday.
Speaking of tough guys, Sean Bryson.
That was the guy he mentioned.
Yep. When they use single backs, it'll be Bryson. They have 3 wide receivers. Here comes the blitz. It is picked up, and the pass incomplete. Roy Williams with a safety blitz, and a penalty flag has been thrown at the line of scrimmage. And when we say Roy Williams, 1 on each side, that was the Cowboy, who was the hero of last week's game with the interception return for a touchdown. A lot of conferences with the judge. Do you notice that?
Yeah, I don't
call the attorneys.
Man,
that's what happens when you get so many attorneys in one area. They all want to just.
There was no intentional grounding on the play. There was a receiver in the area when the ball was released. However, there was holding offense number 79. That's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Right tackle Kelly Butler. So the good news, no intentional grounding. The bad news, penalty against your line.
Still going backwards. So Detroit's not a team in a position to have the penalties that they've had on this opening drive, and it will be critical for them to get off to a good start. One of the things that the Dallas defense does, if they get you into some certain situations like we have here in 3rd and long, that's when they're going to be aggressive. And if they're having success with that, you're going to see it more and more as the game wears on. Detroit's got to make some good blitz pickups and execute some plays to slow down this Dallas pressure.
The yellow line, the imaginary yellow line, is where they need to get for the 1st down. 3rd and 12. On the screen pass, Marcus Pollard, the tight end, and he gets inside the 40-yard line. So that would be a long field goal attempt for Jason Hansen. Aaron Glenn making the tackle after a 4-yard pickup.
That's all on Detroit right there. At the beginning of this drive, they came out, executed very well, ran the ball well with Kevin Jones and Sean Bryson. Roy Williams, a couple of big catches, but 2 key penalties stalled the drive.
Nick Harris, who's the best punter in the NFL and pinning opponents inside the 20, will be kicking, and Peerless Price back to return. We're going to let it bounce, and unable to make the play downfield was Drummond. Eddie Drummond couldn't save it, so it's a touchback, and the Cowboys will get the ball on the 20, leading 7-0.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by the new Sprint, the official telecommunications service sponsor of the NFL. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. By Samsung, the official HD TV of the NFL. And by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world.
And welcome back to Dallas. In case you're wondering, Jason Hansen, had he tried a field goal, would have been about 55 yards. A little bit out of his range, perhaps. So first down for Dallas on the 20. Julius Jones, the setback. And here's Bledsoe's pass. And it's going to be a catch. And close to the first down at the 30 by Terry Glenn. Time of possession story last week against the Eagles, who were able to run at will. Cowboys couldn't run, only 24 minutes. Lowest by a Bill Parcells coach team since 1998. Right now they have a time of possession advantage of just under 4 minutes.
It's a big part of Bill Parcells' philosophy. Control the game, get it into the fourth quarter, but you've got to win that time of possession back.
From the 31-yard line with under a minute remaining. Flag down. Julius Jones with the carry up to the 35-yard line, but another penalty.
Yeah, they got James Hall that time. So whatever he thinks he's seeing, the Cowboys are aware of it. They're making some subtle adjustments to try and confuse them now.
Offside defense, number 96. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
There he is. He's the farthest guy out right there.
He was pretty close, too.
We'll take a look down there. See, he's looking in. Let's see what he's seeing. There was nothing really there that time. We're going to keep our eyes on Daryl Johnston, the center. See if he's got some kind of a snap key off of him. But right there, I think he was trying to get on Drew Bledsoe's cadence because there was no movement by the Dallas offensive line. But he must have thought he had something in Drew's cadence.
Already 6 penalties called against the Lions, 1st and 5, and it looked like the Lions, trying to anticipate the snap count, came storming in from the left side of their line.
There's something out there that they think they're trying to convince this is happening. Please, we're sure they're doing this. It's not out against us.
Al Johnson's doing a good job, whatever it is. I think he has an idea, and Sean Rogers is yelling at him right now.
How about Bledsoe's hard count, Tony? Is he a good hard count quarterback?
Yeah, you know what? He does have the hard count, but it doesn't
neutral
seem
zone
like they're really using
infraction.
that.
Defense number 92 came into the neutral zone, causing the false start. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Well, that time Sean Rogers, but right now let's get a game break from James Brown in L.A. JB.
Hey, Dick, Falcons deep in their own territory, 2nd and 15. Michael Vick stepped on by his guard, pounded on by the Bucs defense. Matt Schaub comes in. It's 3rd and 22 from their own 1, and he's stripped by Simeon Rice. Ball recovered by Booger McFarland. Tampa Bay up 10-0 back to Dick Stockton.
All right, JB, and of course the winner moves into sole possession of second, maybe a tie for first, and time has run out. That is the end of the first quarter here at Texas Stadium with the score. The Cowboys 7 and the Lions nothing. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages. We begin the second quarter here at Texas Stadium. Dick Stockton, Daryl Johnston, and the Goose, Tony Siragusa. Cowboys have a first down on their 41-yard line, leading 7-0. Julius Jones off to a big start. Fumbles. And let's see if McGraw recovers it. It looked like John McGraw made the recovery after Nate Wayne applied the hit. A 6-yard gain and a turnover, giving the Lions the ball in Cowboys territory.
That's one of the things you got to guard against when you're coming back in for extended playing time after you've been out for an injury. You're not used to those guys attacking the ball the way that Nate Wayne did right there. Julius Jones is in his 2nd year, but one of the things that it takes a while to get adjusted to is how the players in the NFL attack the football. Nate Wayne right there comes off a block, gets his hand in right on the point, and just rips it right out of his grasp.
First down for the Lions on the Cowboy 47. Both Kevin Jones and Sean Bryson are in the lineup. Looking, faking one way. Harrington still with a lot of time. And he goes out of bounds at the 43-yard line. So good coverage downfield, obviously, by the Cowboys. Harrington couldn't find a target, and he ends up running for 5.
That's a nice job. And, we had an opportunity to do some Lion games last year and sat down, talked to Joey Harrington. for whatever reason this year, I mean, he's gone through, a tough stretch. He's been a starter his entire life, and he was demoted by Steve Mariucci to bring Jeff Garcia in, but he seems like a different guy. He seems like he's in a better place.
And maybe having Garcia,
I can't figure it out.
Crown #1 has helped him, whatever it is, playing with a lot more confidence. 2nd down and 5. Kevin Jones goes nowhere. And great pursuit that time, led by Keith Davis, the free safety, losing about a yard.
Yeah, we're going to see a couple more of these from Kevin Jones during the course of the day. One of his big things is the spin move. He gets up inside right there, spins out. But when you play against Dallas's defense, they're another one of those very quick, great pursuit to the ball. If you're going to get onto the corner, you better make a decision quickly.
You always like playing against some guys who spin because they don't know where they're at. They don't know who's coming. You could get a knockout shot with a guy who spins inside.
They can spin right into your arms. 3rd down and 6. Sean Bryson has replaced Kevin Jones. Again, a pump fake and a deep throw down the right sideline to Roy Williams, and covered by Aaron Glenn, incomplete. 4th down coming up as we go back to L.A. James Brown with a game break.
Hey, Dick, New England not being gracious host for the Saints. First 2 drives, they scored this one here to Deion Branch in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, play action again. Brady to Mike Vrabel. 14-0 Patriots looking for their first back-to-back victory this season. Take it back to Dick Stockton.
All right, so 4th down, and Nick Harris will kick. Thank you, JB. Peerless Price with the fair catch on the 9. So that time Harris did his job, pinning the Cowboys inside the 20. Still a 7-0 Dallas lead in Steer country. You're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in HD and presented by DirecTV. Cowboys beginning from the 10-yard line. Andre Gerard has replaced Al Johnson at center. Julius Jones with the carry, doesn't get much as he crosses the 10-yard line. Corey Redding making the tackle.
Dick Jauron is going to adjust what he sees on these opening drives. Dallas very effective on the perimeter. And what you're going to do, you're going to go over to the sideline, you're going to get these pitchers, find out what they're doing from their blocking scheme. And right there you saw a lot of the pressure in that second one is coming off the perimeter. There's Dick Jauron there upstairs taking a look down at his defense performing. Now we saw some pressure coming between the tackles. He's adjusted now. He's doing some things out near the tackle tight end area.
Former head coach of the Chicago Bears. 2nd and 9, Bledsoe from the 5. And the pass is caught by Terry Glenn, and a 1st down out to the 25-yard line. So Glenn, who did not catch a pass in the first 3 quarters and then had a big grab for a touchdown near the end of the game to set up Dallas's victory, grabs this for 15.
Well, when he got hurt last season, Dallas really lost their down-the-field threat. It was very difficult for them offensively to really threaten anybody with deep passes. Terry Glenn's been able to stay healthy this year. I think Drew Bledsoe is a much better deep ball thrower than Vinny Testaverde was. And you really look at those 2 situations, I think 2 of the biggest reasons Dallas's offense is playing as well as it is right now.
From the 26, Bledsoe again looking to throw, and the ball knocked away. Keyshawn Johnson defended by R.W. McQuarters, who started for 4 years with the Chicago Bears. Of course, the Lions, as you saw in the graphic, this is the quarter that they have really collapsed this year, the second quarter. So they're looking to change things here. Flag was down behind the line.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 52. Helmet-to-helmet contact with the quarterback.
You saw the hit on Bledsoe.
Penalty, 1st down.
By James Davis.
Yeah, you get the helmet-to-helmet again. Right now, Detroit making a lot of careless penalties. Comes in late, gets him right up under the chin. Is you're a team trying to find an identity, whether it's offense, defense, you're trying to generate something. He didn't really get to the helmet on that second one. He was kind of in the shoulder. So
I think they missed that one.
Yeah,
and that was
it didn't that angle. It didn't look like it did from that first one.
Some of them attorneys, they want to protect them quarterbacks. You know how that is.
7th penalty against the Lions. Only 1 called against the Cowboys. So a 1st down at the 41. Pass thrown behind Keyshawn Johnson.
You know, we talked earlier about, the jump that the Detroit Lions were getting with Al Johnson now out the center and Gruden right now. They're not really getting that jump on defense like they were earlier.
Well, he's definitely going to he's going to be doing something different, and you wonder if that is the change. Now, we've got two bigger guys in there, and I think Bill Parcells has always felt that Andre Garrod is maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit more physical than Al Johnston, and maybe that's the reason. But it could also be that was the reason they were getting such a great jump.
Julius Jones and Marion Barber are in the backfield, spinning his way around, and the pass intended for Barber, and not a good-looking play as it developed. Incomplete. And that will bring up 3rd down and 10.
Uh-oh.
Rob Petiti, the rookie who has performed extremely well, the 6th round draft pick, looks a bit shaken up.
Yeah. He's dizzy right now, man. He doesn't know where he's at.
Well, the screenplay is not an easy play to do. Marion Barber steps up to get the blitz pickup, but then he kind of stumbles coming out. And I think people, you see screenplays when they're successful, they're run by teams that do it well. You're like, why doesn't everybody do that? But it's such a difficult play to coordinate the timing with your offensive line, your running backs, and then on top of it, they had a blitz that they had to defend to allow Drew Bledsoe to get the ball off.
Timeout called by the Cowboys. The first one was waved off. This one will count. First timeout of the game with 11:50 remaining in the second. Cowboys first timeout, and now set to go. Rob Petiti still in the lineup. Rookie from Pittsburgh, shaken up. They tended to him during the timeout. So it'll be 3rd and 10 on the 41 of the Cowboys. Bledsoe. And incomplete, flag down in the backfield, and the Cowboys. No flag was thrown where Bledsoe got hit, but Terry Glenn might have been interfered with by Andre Goodman downfield. Goodman appealing his case.
Interference, defense number 35. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, the offensive player has the right to get to a certain spot on the field. That's kind of incidental on the outside. I don't know about that one. This one, Drew gets kind of rolled up right there. Look, what a good job of picking that right leg up, because that's how a lot of them happen. You're going backwards and somebody's rolling up behind you. As soon as he felt the pressure, he got that leg up and out.
22-yard penalty, and the Lions guilty of several careless penalties. A lot of it lack of discipline. So the Cowboys get a new life, a first down on the Lion 37. They give it to Marion Barber, and Barber jumps inside the 35-yard line for a gain of 3. James Hall was there.
Well, the one thing they're doing well up until this point in the game is their execution. And we've talked about Bill Parcells and what he likes to do with the time of possession and his philosophy about playing the game of football. A lot of that ties directly to execution, because you're trying to get into a game late. You can't have missed assignments or the penalties like Detroit is having right now. Those are the things that will really disrupt what he's trying to achieve.
Rookie Tyson Thompson, his first appearance in the backfield on 2nd down and 7. And Thompson will get the call. He's got good speed, but grabbing him from behind was Sean Rogers, a Pro Bowler last year, and a 3-yard pickup. But right now the Cowboys have been controlling the ball on the clock, but the Lions are hanging in there. They could not take advantage of that fumble by Julius Jones. And there you see limping off the field is Sean Rogers, one of the good ones.
Well, we talked about the Washington game and the Seattle game. Dallas has to do a better job of taking advantage of the opportunities when they're there. You can't be kicking field goals. And, Detroit right now is allowing you to move the ball down the field with a lot of help from them because of all these penalties.
Sean Cody, the rookie from USC, replaces Rogers. 3rd down and 4. Bledsoe's pass caught by Keyshawn Johnson. First down, close to the 20-yard line. And a gain of 9 yards. Nate Wayne downfield on the coverage, so the Cowboys are threatening again.
Well, Rob Petiti, he is still not 100%. He's still trying to shake some cobwebs off out there. And right there, Dick Duran, he's going to bring some pressure. He's going to force him in to doing some protection, getting him off the ball. But you can see right here, I just don't think he's all the way back right now.
And for Keyshawn, who leads the team in touchdown catches and in receptions. His first grab of the day. First down, and here's Tyson Thompson. Slips by one man, but 2 Lions will bring him down. And good pursuit by Detroit, and another flag goes down. When will it end? Andre Goodman, but it was R.W. McQuarters who was right in the middle of it. No gain pending the call.
This is unbelievable if this is on Detroit again.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 31. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Well, here's McQuarters, who certainly has been around a while, Daryl.
Well, some penalties are part of the game. They're going to happen. You're going to get a face mask like that, but RW's got to get that hand off the face mask. He knows it there. He knows it there. And right now, we've had a questionable late hit on the quarterback with helmet to helmet. We've had some other ones that are in their control. They're doing things now, and they're the 15-yard variety of penalties. And you can't do that against Dallas. I mean, they had a great opening drive, and here you are. When your defense was playing well, you generated a turnover. You've been doing a decent job on this drive, except for the fact that you keep handing them the first downs with all your penalties.
Here you see 88 penalty yards, 49 of them coming on this drive with 3 big ones. So it'll be first and 10 outside the 10-yard line. Ball at the 11. Julius Jones back in as the tailback. Bledsoe will pass, and it's caught by Polite, the fullback. Does he get over?
Come on, you got to give it to him. He hit the pylon.
And he did not get in. He was stopped inside the 1-yard line. Was Lusaka Polite, the fullback, open on the screen?
Well, is it because he's a Cowboy, or is it because he's a fullback you wanted that one?
Oh, no, it's a fullback. That's a fullback right there. Let's see how close he gets. No, he's got to get lower. Good call by the officials. He was out right at the 1.
So now it'll be a first and goal inside the 1, and Marcus Spears, the defensive end, and the rookie from LSU, there he is. Handoff to Jones, and he is stopped short of the goal line. Terrific play by Wally Rayner, who is starting at the strong side linebacking position for the injured Earl Holmes. A good play there.
Well, if these guys aren't committing penalties, they're playing pretty physical and pretty well right now. But they're just beating themselves with it. There's no lack of desire out there. There's great effort. Go in, stuff the big defensive end, and have your other 2 linebackers come over the top to help you out.
And big boys in the middle doing a great job of penetration, too.
Oh, they are. Here's Jones. And Jones knocked back again. Julius Jones stopped. And I have to tell you, this ought to revive this Detroit team, whose fortunes, because of penalties, have been set back. That time it was Dante Curry with Wally Rayner.
Yeah, but watch Wally Rayner finish it, because I think Julius Jones is going to work his way in. Right there, he comes in to clean up. Otherwise, I think Julius Jones is going to wiggle his way in. Good play by Wally Rayner.
What do you think now, a pass after a fake run?
No, right back at it. Okay. Bill Parcells, he was not happy with how his guys played against Philadelphia. He's going to send a message here. You guys can't run it in from 6 yards out, then you don't deserve the 7.
3 tight ends, they run it, and they don't get it. It'll be 4th down and 1. And so 3 staunch defensive plays by the Detroit Lions. That time, give credit to Corey Redding, and it'll be 4th down and goal. And they bring on Cundiff, and the crowd boos.
You talked about it, Tony. Great penetration. This time, James Hall gets in, gets underneath the pulling lineman, bottles everything up. There's nowhere for the running back to go.
Everybody talks about the defensive linemen and big guys. A lot of mixed emotions in the league, whether you should have them or not. Let me tell you something. Every goal line coach looks for them big guys when it comes down to something like this on a 1-yard line.
This will be a 19-yard field goal attempt by Billy Cundiff. A veritable chip shot. And the kick is good, but despite the field goal, tell you what, if this doesn't inspire the Detroit Lions, nothing will. It's 10-0 Dallas, however, midway through this second quarter.
Fox NFL Sunday, sponsored by General Motors.
Back here at Texas Stadium, and 2 long drives by the Cowboys. 1 14-play drive on the first possession for the touchdown. This was 13 plays. They've used about nearly 15 minutes on those 2 drives as well. There is Eddie Drummond back deep for the Lions, and 10-0 the score. Cundiff with the kickoff. And returning is Eddie Drummond. Drummond still on his feet. Finally is put down at the 23-yard line by Roy Williams on special teams. But what a defensive stand on 3 straight plays after Polite got to the 1. That's as close as they got. and the Cowboys had to settle for 3. Dallas Cowboys tied for first place in the NFC East with the New York Giants and leading here 10-0 as Joey Harrington and the Lions will begin from the 22. Kevin Jones. Straight on by Kevin Jones and a good gain on first down by 8 yards. Keith Davis on the play. Kevin Jones was a little disturbed that the Cowboys didn't draft him on the first round. Played at Virginia Tech. As you look at the story of the game numerically thus far.
Well, that's a big improvement for the Cowboys right there, running the ball, and that's really the foundation of what they're going to try and do offensively. At some point, they will get back to that passing game, but you know, if they're going to take the next step, and they took a huge one last Monday night against Philly, they've got to get more consistent running that football.
Well, Charles Rogers is in at wide receiver along with Roy Williams, both highly touted rookies in recent years. There is Rogers. Second down and 2. Harrington on the throw, completes to Kevin Jones. Good juke and a first down and going down the sidelines. So Kevin Jones saying, watch this, Dallas Cowboys. A big gain of 28 yards. Scott Fujita, the linebacker, missed, and Jones made him pay.
Well, that's the potential of Kevin Jones. He's got the ability to do this every time he touches the ball. Just a simple check down. He freezes Scott Fujita, but then he turns the corner on Brady James, and then a business decision. Get out of bounds.
Smart business decision. Get out of bounds. Don't take the hit.
So a first down on the Cowboy 42. Artus Pinner, the third of the three-headed running back core for Steve Mariucci. And Pinner, off left tackle, has some running room and drives down to the 36-yard line, picking up 7 yards. Good block that time by the right guard, Damian Woody.
Well, you see right there, they've really struggled to have big plays in this offense, and that's shocking to me. Kevin Jones, Marcus Pollard, Roy Williams, Charles Rogers, Mike Williams, who's inactive today. And you tell me you've only got 22 plays that are over 20 yards with that much potential?
Saw Chris Canty, the impressive rookie from the University of Virginia, go off. There is Charles Rogers. It'll be second down and 3 on the 35, and play action. Harrington firing it. Roy Williams was in the neighborhood in coverage by Terrence Newman, but tremendous pressure that time by Jason Ferguson.
Jason Ferguson coming off the nose, getting right into Joey Harrington's face, didn't allow him to step up, had to kind of throw that thing flat-footed.
How about the Bears leading the Panthers 13-0? And of course, the Lions coming in tied with Minnesota, 2 games behind the Bears, but consider that the Bears have already beaten the Lions twice, so in essence they're 3 behind. 3rd and 3. Sean Bryson, the lone back, and they give it to Bryson, and he'll get the first down.
That's not a very nice spot.
And you're right. They're going to have a measurement, and Steve Mariucci is screaming from the sidelines.
Sure looked like he was farther downfield than that.
It sure did, and it looked like he was between the 31 and the 32, and they moved it to the 32. Now, forget the yellow line. It's just a guideline. It's not official. About an inch short.
You can't even make that distance with your hands.
The Lions did not get a break at all with the spot.
I still thought it was a first down when they stretched the chains.
Well,
I'm trying to find out where that space is.
They're going to go for it. Corey Schlesinger, the fullback, comes in.
There you go. You got the hitman in the lineup. That's the one guy that'll be able to punch it through on this line.
Yeah, well, you know, Corey hurt his leg the first game of preseason. He broke his leg, so he's been out. And that's that one guy, you know, you talk about who's your lead by example guy, who's your tough guy. Corey Schlesinger has fit that role for the Lions for several years now.
We saw toughness by the Lions defense. Let's see if we see toughness on their offensive line. And Schlesinger very close. Very close for Schlesinger. The Cowboys indicating that they feel he was stopped on 4th down.
He might have lost yardage on that.
Yeah, I think he did lose yardage on
that. You've got everybody there I don't know. You've got a good fullback in there. You've got Kevin Jones, or whoever you want. Put Sean Bryson in there. He's your physical guy. Give him a lead blocker, so if something breaks down, you've got somebody to pick him up.
First carry of the year for Schlesinger. And it is a first down. I tell you what, it looked like the exact same spot as the previous play, which was short. That one was a first down. Go figure.
We all got to get our eyes examined, I think, down here. It didn't look that way out here.
Looked like the same spot as the one before.
I tell you what, Corey Schlesinger, one carry this season for what does that come out to be? About a half an inch? But it's a conversion.
And a first down on the 32-yard line, with 3:40 remaining in the first half. 10-0 in favor of the Cowboys.
Another conference by the officials.
Some trouble with the clock today, it looks like.
Yes, they had one earlier on the play clock.
Please reset the game clock. The game clock should be 3:50. 3:50 on the game clock, 30 seconds on the play clock. Thank you.
Somebody robbing him 9 seconds.
Correction, 3:55 on the game clock. 3:55 on the game clock.
14 seconds
Thank you.
now.
Correction, 4 minutes and 3 seconds.
Let's just put 15 back up there and let's go. Let's start it back
Not
up.
a bad
Tee
idea, Goose.
it back up.
First down on the 32. Pollard, the tight end, moving to the right side. Play action for Joey Harrington. Harrington going deep, and there's Roy Williams, who makes the catch inside the 5 and nearly fought his way into the goal line. He is down by contact. No turnover. The official had blown the whistle, and Williams is down about the 2 or 3 yard line. It was Keith Davis on the coverage, and Kevin Burnett, the rookie linebacker, on top of that.
Well, a couple plays ago, Joey Harrington had Jason Ferguson right in his face, and he couldn't step up and make a throw. But watch the pocket on this one. He's able to get back to his depth and then step in and throw this ball. And I don't know how you lose track of number 11 down near the red zone area.
When you rush 3 guys, you got to hug up backside. You know the rush. You got 5 on 3 up there on the front line. You got to go and protect.
30-yard gain, first and goal. And the handoff to Kevin Jones. The foot race now to the end zone, and Jones is in for the touchdown. Kevin Jones. And the Lions finally score with 2:49 remaining in the first half. A 2-yard run for Kevin Jones. His 5th touchdown of the year on the ground.
Well, you're going to see the ability that Kevin Jones has. Well, he's going to come in and hit this right in the middle. And again, he doesn't spin outside, but again, it's Brady James. He's able to beat him to the corner. Charles Rogers working hard on the outside with a block on Terrence Newman. But hey, Dick, you made the call on the stand. Let's see what the offense can do now that the defense held them to a field goal.
He got some great blocking there too, Moose, on the outside, slow blocking by their wide receivers. Excellent job.
Yeah, Goose, I thought that defensive stand inspired this team, and they made it on 4th down and inches, and they finally break into the scoring column. Jason Hansen for the extra point. And the Lions back in it now, trailing the Cowboys 10-7 on an 8-play, 78-yard scoring drive. Joey Harrington, who was 6 of 8 for 87 yards on the scoring drive, and now the Lions kicking off. Jason Hansen, and at the 7-yard line, Terrence Copper with a nifty down the far sideline return. With 2:44 remaining, the Cowboys have 2 timeouts left. Thanksgiving Day, it's a Fox NFL special, as Michael Vick and the Falcons in action against these Detroit Lions. The traditional NFL Thanksgiving game at Ford Field. It all begins with the pregame show at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. Thanksgiving Day right here on Fox. There's nothing like turkey and a Lions game on Thanksgiving Day, and you can see it right here.
Let that tryptophan set in. Take a big nap.
Before and after. Here's the timeout story. Al Johnson is back in at center. in front of Drew Bledsoe.
The play clock should be 13 seconds. 13 seconds.
Hey, I think the clock operator's got a date.
He celebrated Thanksgiving a little early.
Yeah, he's trying to get it. We got a big turnaround before Thursday. You guys got to get out of here.
First down, Bledsoe going to the air and trying to get it to Keyshawn Johnson. Not sure if it was tipped from behind at the line by James Hall.
James Hall had a huge season last year, really a big breakout season, but he's been slowed down by an injury. But he's kind of back into that form he was last year, the start of this game today. It looks like he's gotten all the way back 100%. Dallas is just, I mean, they look lethargic right now. I mean, coming to the line of scrimmage out of the huddle, that last little bit right there, the getting stopped at the goal line, and then Detroit coming right down the field really took a lot out of this team right now.
Second down and 10 from the 30. They give the ball to Julius Jones, or check it, Marion Barber. And Barber brings it out to the 37-yard line, gaining 7 yards.
One of the things we're going to keep an eye on is Tony Petiti. Watch number 38 right there as he goes by, kind of knees him in the head, and he's getting the smelling salts and making sure everything's working. Now he's down. I think they worked on his ankle on top of that, but he's still out there right now. But if I'm Dick Geron, I'm going to start bringing some pressure.
He's a tough kid. He went to a tough school, guys. He's all right.
I wonder which school.
It wouldn't happen to be your alma mater, would it?
The Pitt Panthers are tough guys.
And I know.
Timeout Detroit. That's their first.
I was going to say, and Tony has contributed so much to the University of Pittsburgh. He doesn't have to answer it. The Lions call a timeout. And back here, and you can see the sun in the pocket there of the end zone on rest of the field in shade. And the timeout was called by the Lions 2 seconds shy of the 2-minute warning. Third down and 3. On the rollout, and the pass to Glenn is too low. And now we have the 2-minute warning with the Cowboys leading by a score of 10-7. Fourth down and a punting situation coming up. We'll be right back. 10-7, the 2-minute warning. And Daryl, the Cowboys have really not dominated this game, although it looked that way early. And you have to say, without all those Lion penalties, maybe Dallas wouldn't even be in front of this one.
Well, you know, they took a step last Monday night when they won a game where they were outplayed. Here's another opportunity for them to show the league, hey, we can beat an opponent at home who we're supposed to beat. And they have not played that well in the first half.
Matt McBriar with the punt. And the fair catch by Eddie Drummond. Looked like he called a fair catch, but not. Flag is down, and that's really going to set the Lions back, because if it's an illegal block, they may get inside the 5-yard line.
Eddie Drummond is probably the best return man in the league, but he has not had the season like he had last year. That's a case right there of pressing just a little bit.
Good punt, 46 yards by McBriar, and a loss of 7 from where Drummond caught the ball.
And then, like you said, it's from the spot of the foul.
Right.
I don't let him keep running. He probably would have ran himself into the end zone.
Suffered a sprained knee in week 6 and 7, so he's been slowed up a little bit, but you're right.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 27. Half the distance to the goal. Detroit keeps the ball. First down.
Paul Smith. See where they spot it. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. Scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker has up to the second scores and stats. 1:40 on the clock, and the Lions will be starting from their 5-yard line. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Joey Harrington not played his best football in the last 2 minutes of either half this year. Gives the ball to Kevin Jones, and Jones picks up maybe a yard.
See if Bill Parcells is ready to take some timeouts here. Maybe get a little bit of time left on the clock with them backed up. Surprised.
Not.
They've got all 3 of them. Or they're down to 2 now.
And limping off the field is Jeff Backus, who's been bothered by a high ankle sprain, and Rick DeMulling, number 64, moves into his spot. Bill Parcells did not stop the clock, so it'll be 2nd down and 9. Harrington will throw, and Schlesinger unable to hold on. He was covered by Terrence Newman, but was in position to make the catch. So 3rd and 9 with under a minute.
I don't understand that decision by Coach Parcells, because if I'm
well, you know, you're right, because you have 2 timeouts remaining, and if you stop the clock and then you force the Lions to punt, you got great field position for nothing worse than a field goal attempt. So it'll be 3rd down and 9. Sean Bryson with 3 wide receivers. And Bryson getting the call, and nowhere. DeMarcus Ware stands him up and puts him down back at the 5-yard line. And it'll be a punting situation.
No audio.
And we're going to have a timeout called by the Cowboys. We'll be right back. Who is at the 45-yard line. .48 seconds remain in the first half. Cowboys will have 1 timeout remaining. And it's a low kick, and Newman on the 38-yard line returns. Terrence Newman with a flag down gets knocked down at the 17-yard line. There are 3 penalty flags down right all next to each other. And Dante Curry making the play, a 22-yard return. The punt was 34 yards. Here's Ed Hockley's call.
Illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 28, during the return. 10-yard penalty. Dallas keeps the ball. 1st down.
Tyson Thompson, and that's going to make a big difference, Daryl, from where the Cowboys could have been with seconds to go and where they're going to be now.
Yeah, that's a huge penalty, but it looked kind of close to me. But you get, like, when you get 3 flags, I mean, everybody's seeing the same thing. But yeah, as you pointed out, you're down inside the 15-yard line with 1st down with 38 seconds to go. Now they're pushed all the way back to the 42. Again, it's a small penalty, but it just affected over 30 yards of field position. Right there.
So 1st down at the 42-yard line with 38 seconds remaining. Bledsoe's quick toss and quickly thrown to Jason Witten, bringing up 2nd down. In case you're wondering, Billy Cundiff was making field goals from 51 and 52 yards during the pregame warm-up, and he's getting ready just in case.
That puts him down, what, the 34, 35-yard line?
You got about 7 yards to get in that range.
We talked a little bit earlier in this half about the execution that Dallas had on that opening series and at that point of the game, but since then they have been really poor in their execution.
They have stalled, no question about it. 2nd and 10 at the 42, and here is Bledsoe's pass, and again Witten, who's still looking for his first catch of the day, and a lot of the passes from Bledsoe either dropped or thrown behind or down or low, and that's got to be upsetting to Coach Parcells. 3rd down and 10 coming up.
Well, they're not in a rhythm right now offensively, and you know, Detroit, whether they have changed some things up late in the first half, but the Dallas receivers are well covered. They're being able to generate pressure with their down 4. Every once in a while they'll bring one guy, but that one guy is coming clean. So Dick Jauron a little bit ahead of the Cowboy offense right now.
Bledsoe 6 of 13 for 67 yards. And the flag goes down, and here's Bledsoe carrying himself. 2 of them went down. As the Lions, once again, we saw this early in the game, trying to anticipate the snap count.
Offside defense, number 98, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd down. Kalimba Edwards offsides, and we've seen that a lot today from the Lions.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of mistakes by the Detroit Lions, but a big one right now was that penalty by Tyson Thompson. It is really, I mean, guaranteed 3 points pretty much where they were going to have the ball after that punt, and they're going to struggle to get a chance to kick a field goal here.
3rd down and 5. They're on the Lion 37.
They jumped again.
And getting hit and hit hard. Another flag down. So you're right, another penalty marker down, and Bledsoe thrown back to the 43-yard line, and it appears to be another offsides call against Detroit.
Offside defense, number 96. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
James Hall in a first down.
All right, you know what? At this point, you think you've got a snap key, but guess what? It's not 100% right now. So you have got to get off of it, because they're doing the same thing right now that they did on the earlier drive, where they had all these penalties that allowed Dallas to get down and get some points. They forced them into a position with a 3rd and 12, and they gave them a first or 3rd and long, and gave them a first down with 2 offsides.
What you have to do as a defensive lineman, when you have that and you're going to get that jump, back up just a little bit. If you back up 4 or 5 inches, all of a sudden you'll be able to get that jump and get off, but work with the offsides call.
First down, time beginning to run out, and there is Bledsoe. Bledsoe loses the ball, and the question is, was he in the act of throwing the pass? He did not lose it, and Al Johnson, the center, recovered the fumble by Bledsoe, a loss of 5 yards.
Well, there's a couple things that Dallas has to do when they get in at halftime. Number one, I want to talk to Rob Petitti and see where he's at right now, because I don't think he's 100%, and he could be hurting more than he's helping Dallas right now at that right tackle spot.
And that was a fumble, as you could see. 14 seconds remaining, and a timeout called by the Cowboys. How about this? 12 penalties for 103 yards, season's high for the Lions, and we're still in the first half.
Not going to win many games doing that.
You know, you talk about Petitti, Moose. Sometimes you get dinged in a game, you don't even know that you're dinged. You know, your head is not in the right frame of mind. And watching him out there, sometimes when he comes back from a play, he's shaking his head, saying, "Man, can't believe I did that." They need to go and get him on the sideline and evaluate him.
Well, there's been times, and the way he got it, he got a knee to the side of the head, and I've had that happen to me playing before, and like you said, Tony, you don't even realize it. You go on to autopilot because you've repped these plays so much, and then all of a sudden you'll start to come out of that fog, a quarter and a half later.
Cowboys have used their final timeout, 2nd down and 16, and Bledsoe with time, going down the middle and trying to get it to Peerless Price. They did for 58 yards. Longest pass play on Monday to the Eagles. Now there are 8 seconds remaining.
That was pretty close to being a connection.
You had Keyshawn Johnson down on the right side screaming after the play. He was wide open, getting him into field goal range.
Well, watch James Davis. He's a linebacker that's going to drop all the way down to that deep middle right there, number 52, but he gets turned around a little bit. I mean, that is just a couple of feet from being a long touchdown pass at halftime.
You're right. Price against the linebacker. That would be a mismatch. So it'll be 3rd down and 16, and with 8 seconds to go, a 56-yard field goal attempt by Billy Cundiff. So the Cowboys are going to try and squeeze out 3 anyway. Cundiff right down the middle, and this kick is good. Billy Cundiff, who was just signed last night. And what a move made by the Cowboys, a 56-yard field goal by Cundiff, and the Cowboys now lead the Lions 13-7. Hey, Goose, Steve Mariucci appealing that he had called a timeout.
Yeah, he's down on the sideline arguing right now, saying, "I need more time back on the clock. I am allowed to go and call a timeout. When the play was over, I called timeout right away. I want time back on the clock." He's still arguing his point right now with the officials right on the field.
He's got to be angry about something else, because I don't know what a couple more seconds at this stage of the half is going to do. So there's got to be another piece of the puzzle that we don't know about right now, because he's too angry to have a little bit of problem with the clock.
So with all of that and the illegal block on the punt and the incompleted passes and all the out of sync play by the Cowboys, they managed to get 3 anyhow.
Well, how about, I mean, the first play that Detroit ran when they were backed up, they got 1 yard. Call the timeout right now, because you just gained the advantage. Dallas would have had more time on the clock. Then they make another mistake on the punt when they would have had a first down inside the 15. They're pushed all the way outside the 40. I mean, it has been a bizarre last minute of play in this first half.
And the field goal, the longest in Cowboys history of 56 yards.
And that's what it results in.
Yeah, guys, what he's yelling about right now is he said he called timeout before the play actually happened, and no one gave him that timeout. He wanted the timeout right before the kick, I guess, to put a little bit more pressure on the kicker and let him think about the kick, but he's not getting any response.
And you know, that was a new thing instituted this year where the coach can call a timeout. It doesn't have to be a player. Coaches can call a timeout at any point. He tried, but it didn't go, and so the Cowboys are up by 6. 3 seconds remaining in the first half. And there's the dangerous Eddie Drummond. Last week against Arizona, Drummond was tackled by Neil Rackers, the kicker for the Cardinals. Otherwise, Drummond might have gotten his first return for a touchdown this year. Tony Frisch had set the old record, 33-year-old record of 54 yards for the Cowboys back in 1972. And here is the low kick picked up by R.W. McQuarters. Time has run out, and that'll be the end. So Steve Mariucci not at all pleased with the way things ended for the Detroit Lions. Marion Barber put the Cowboys in front 7-0 in the first quarter with a 14-play drive. Billy Cundiff added a field goal after a 13-play drive in a situation in which the Lions had a goal line stand. So that is the end of the first half with the Cowboys leading the Lions 13-7. We'll be back here at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas when we return. Cowboys record 56-yard field goal by Billy Cundiff in the waning seconds, giving the Cowboys a 13-7 lead over the Lions. The Visa halftime report is coming up next. And a look as we go out with first half action here at Texas Stadium.
The Visa Halftime Report is sponsored by Visa. With Visa, you're protected.
Well, Lions are hurting themselves. 12 penalties for 104 yards. They trail the Dallas Cowboys 13-7. Bill Parcells and his team seeking their 4th straight win at home.
Mike McMahon, quarterback for the Eagles. Donovan McNabb, of course, is out. McMahon scrambling. Antonio Pierce says, hello, welcome. Good deal. 2 for 9 in the first quarter, 30 yards goes McMahon. Now Reggie Hodges back to punt. David Tyree blocks for the Giants down to the 1-yard line. Giants can't get it in from the 1-on-3 attempt. So Jimmy Johnson's little piece says when to go for on 4th down. Coach Stockton watched it, said, I'm going to do what Jimmy said to do. Eli Manning to Amani Toomer, touchdown at 1 yard, and Giants 10, Jimmy, Eagles nothing. See, people do listen to what you say.
Last time the Raiders and Skins met in D.C. back in '95, Skins on top by 10 over the Raiders in that contest.
Panthers owner Jerry Richardson said, hey, Musa Muhammad, I sure wish I'd have paid you that money. We sure could use you. Muhammad says, watch me catch one against you. 3-yard strike. There it is. Bears up 7-0. Basher back goes Delhomme, as Jimmy likes to call him. Jake Delhomme. It's Jake Delhomme back. Picked off by Nathan Bassler. Remember, he holds the record in the NFL for longest return for a touchdown, or the longest touchdown of 108 yards. Bears 13-0 over Carolina.
Who's that?
Michael Vick. That's who it is. Everybody knows who that guy is. Down. Scary moment for the Falcons. Gets up, shaking off. Then offensive coordinator for Atlanta, Greg Knapp. The very next play, he calls this. Why would you call a pass with a cold shove at quarterback? Simeon Rice in. He forces the fumble. Booger McFarland, Rice and Boogers, they go together. There's a touchdown for the Tampa Bay.
Is that what you hate when you were a kid?
That's what it says on the highlight.
Oh, yeah. You take
all right,
some
Tom Brady greeting former teammate Antoine Smith as the New England Patriots host the New Orleans Saints. Brady back to Branch, 2-yard score. Brady back to Brable, another 1-yard score. 17% of all touchdown passes by NFL quarterbacks this year come from inside the 5-yard line. It's 14-7. Saints putting up a heck of a fight there. Patriots on top. Kurt Warner Give me some love. Hi, Kurt. Welcome back. How y'all doing? Wish I was still here making $9 million, but I'm not. Warner back, dumped it off to Anquan Boldin. Anquan saying, show me the goal line. With a great effort like that, you get in by yourself, which you did. Cardinals, you got it. Green, Denny got him playing hard, 13-10.
Baltimore, last team to hand the Steelers a road loss back in 04. They're leading in that one. Tennessee trying to snap a 4-game losing streak ahead by a touch. And Reuben Jones, running back for the Cleveland Browns, over 100 yards in the first half, blanking the Dolphins. Speaking of running back, Bill Parcells doing what with his?
Well, he might be a little bit stubborn with his because Marion Barber's been doing a nice job running football, 28 yards and 1 touchdown, but only 5 carries. He's trying to get Julius Jones back into the mix. Julius Jones fumbles, but he's got 12 carries down the goal line, ran him 3 straight times saying, please get into the end zone. Didn't make it, had to take the field goal.
What about the crease?
There was no crease down there.
I thought you said if you go with the other
Normally
guy.
there is a crease. Julius Jones is he's a young guy, and he hadn't found the creases yet.
And Barber is I think Barber is a far more physical back who runs A to B. And the thing with this Detroit team is they're getting great pressure on Bledsoe. We talked about it in the pregame. He's a different quarterback when he's under pressure. This is a Detroit defense that has without all 3 of their linebackers, and their secondary is banged up. Don't let this group hang around. Joey Harrington not playing bad in the first half.
Theoretically, a crease is supposed to always be there, right?
Crease will always be there on the goal line. But you just got to find it.
Okay.
Visa halftime continues after this.
And you can see the sun now diminished here at Texas Stadium to the far side as the Cowboys lead 13-7, getting ready for the third quarter. Big story, Lions shooting themselves in their foot with 12 penalties for over 100 yards, season highs only at halftime, but they are undaunted. Their defense is held fast. Joey Harrington has played pretty good, and there is the fantasy update with touchdowns from Kevin Jones and the numbers of Julius Jones and Drew Bledsoe. For the latest in fantasy stats, log on to foxsports.com.
Well, I think the best point that can be made is what Howie said at halftime. You know, this is a defense for the Lions that has been decimated by injuries, and yet they're playing very well. If you take away those penalties, I don't know how many points Dallas has, but the longer you allow Detroit in this game, the more difficult it is going to be for you to have success. And it's a one-possession game right now, pretty much because of what Dallas is not able to do.
And Tony, I guess it's a frustrating day for Steve Mariucci thus far on many fronts. And we're getting ready for the kickoff as the Cowboys will be kicking to the Detroit Lions. Billy Cundiff, who kicked the Cowboy historic 56-yarder 3 seconds before the finish, and Eddie Drummond returning for the Lions, and Drummond is cut down at the 15.
I got a chance to talk to Steve Mariucci. He was very frustrated there in the first half. He thought that a couple of the penalties that he had really didn't warrant, a penalty. And then he thought he said to the officials he was upset about having to call a timeout. He says he was adamant. He called a timeout on the sideline. He doesn't know why they didn't go and call it before they kicked that field goal. So obviously he's a little bit frustrated about what's going on right now.
But Goosey's still in the game, and it's a first down for the Lions on the 16. Kevin Jones, who has gained 17 yards on 7 carries, gets the call and tries to move the pile, and he picks up a couple.
A bizarre ending to that first half. I mean, just everything that happened in that last minute. Detroit gets backed up. Dallas looks like they're going to allow the clock to run out. Then they finally decide that there's going to be an opportunity for points and end up kicking a franchise record field goal. But they started out so crisply and so smooth, and by halftime Dallas was really playing very sluggishly.
No question. And Jeff Backus, who came out of the game limping, is back in at left tackle for the Lions. 2nd down and 8. Harrington throwing it up for Roy Williams, and great play made by Terrence Newman. Step for step, timing his leap perfectly.
Yeah, but watch the play on the ball, because it's a good release by Roy Williams. He's in good position. We've talked about his leaping ability, and he is pulling the ball in. Watch Terrence Newman come over from the back, all on the ball. What a great play by Terrence Newman.
Slam dunk.
Well, we talked about the height disadvantage on the outside right there, but Terrence Newman negated that. He's got some ups.
Talk about ups. He has really raised his game since he's come into the league, bringing up 3rd down and 8 on the 18. Flag down. The pass is intercepted by Aaron Glenn, and he'll go in for the touchdown, but a penalty flag was thrown. Penalty marker down, and let's see whether it'll be against Detroit or not.
Before the ball was snapped, false start, offense, number 82, 5-yard penalty.
It was against the Lions,
ball, 3rd down.
but it stopped the play. Casey Fitzsimmons, the 2nd-string tight end, guilty of a false start, and that will nullify the interception and touchdown run by the veteran Aaron Glenn.
How bizarre is that? Penalties have been the Achilles heel of the Lions all afternoon. It just saved them right there.
Absolutely.
Happy about that one, right?
Those other 12, we can't have that, but that 13th one.
So 3rd down and 13. Lions will take it.
DeMarcus Ware right here, what they're doing now, they're getting him moving all over the formation in these 3rd down situations.
Out of the shotgun, Harrington swings it out to Sean Bryson, and Bryson will be stopped only about 10 yards shy of the 1st down by Newman and Glenn. 4-yard pickup, and Harrington will go out of the game, and thank his lucky stars that the false start nullified the interception return for a score. So into the game, Nick Harris to punt, and Peerless Price goes back for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, the defense is back in form to start this 2nd half. Get a chance to see what the Dallas offense, see what they figured out at halftime.
And a booming punt by Harris, sending Price back to the 34. And out he goes, but the Cowboys will be looking at ideal field position. 5 yards shy of midfield when we return to Texas Stadium for the Cowboys' first drive of the 2nd half.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 40.
Here at Texas Stadium, the Cowboys break the huddle, leading 13-7, their first possession of the 3rd quarter. Starting from their own 45-yard line, Julius Jones, who's gained 44 yards. And the pass to Witten, the tight end. Witten is tackled shy of the 1st down, and a flag back down at the line of scrimmage. Busy day for Ed Hockley. Most of the calls against the Honolulu Blue, not the Dallas Cowboys Royal Blue.
Ooh.
Holding, offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
That's Taron Tucker, left tackle. Let's go down to Tony.
Had a chance to talk with Coach Parcells coming out of the tunnel, and he was a little bit concerned when he looked at me and he says, we're in a dogfight now. He didn't want to be in this situation. He thought they came out and ran the ball very well in the 1st half, but he said in the 2nd half, one thing I have to do is get the ball out of Drew Bledsoe's hands a little bit faster. He can't be holding the ball as long as he is. He wants to work it downfield.
All right, and he told us the other day, he says, I think that this team has been battle-hardened mentally, playing so many close games. 3 losses by a total of 10 points. They don't get discouraged, so he's got that going for him. 1st down, the handoff to Julius Jones, finding an opening. Julius Jones driving to midfield. Big gain by Jones, 15 yards. And a terrific block by Marco Rivera in the process.
Again, I think sometimes you have some success with a play, and all of a sudden you want to open up your whole playbook. Great blocks right there. Look at the hole that they create that Julius Jones is going to be able to get through. And you don't get back to the things that you were doing well in the beginning of the game. You start to try this, and we're gonna get the ball down the field. Like Tony said, they're getting pressure on Drew Bledsoe. That play right there was what they started the game with and had such good success on that opening drive running the football.
Julius Jones now running at a 4.5 clip. A little less than that on this play as he maybe picks up 1 yard. Sean Cody, who came in for Sean Rogers briefly, the rookie from USC. No gain on this play, and that will bring up 2nd down.
There's those big guys in the middle again, Tony.
Yep, Coach Parcells talking about it yesterday also. He wants to get those guys running start, forcing plays to the outside where these big guys got to go and run down the line of scrimmage and slowly wear them down. He did that in the first half, and he's going to try and capitalize on it. He's going to have to do it here in the third and fourth quarter. When you start getting worn down, and this is when it starts showing up.
I said second down. It is third down and 5, and there they are jumping again. The Lions have been called countless times today for offsides penalties.
That's Drew with the hard count. That's the only reason why they jumped that time, Moose.
Encroachment, defense number 96. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
James Hall, and that's a costly one.
Well, eventually, I mean, it's unbelievable that it's happening over and over and over again. And James Hall, I mean, he was on it in the beginning of the game. He got 2 great jumps, got a pressure on Drew Bledsoe and a throwback. But since that time, since that opening drive, he's off a little bit. And I thought Tony made a great point. Hey, back up 4 or 5 inches so when you do make that initial movement, you're not in the neutral zone.
And you still have momentum.
Exactly.
First down on the 45 of the Lions.
Challenge Tony Petiti out here with some speed on the edge and the protection.
Delay of game offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, that time, whatever the Lions were doing had made Drew Bledsoe hesitate enough, and the 5-yard penalty back to midfield.
You've got the Dan Wilkins and Sean Rogers, they're in there, but they're getting into a 3-man front, like what Dallas runs with their 3-4. They're getting into a 3-4 alignment, then they're bringing guys to the one side. You saw Kalimba Edwards come over the top. Here he comes again. They're doing the same thing. He's getting to the outside. He's a defensive end in a linebacker stance.
Hand off to Marion Barber, and Barber hit as he crosses the line of scrimmage, a couple of yards. Sean Rogers, but a pickup of 3 for Barber, who now has gained 30 yards and 89 yards from the 2-man running back tandem of Julius Jones and Marion Barber.
Moose, you brought up a good point. When they run that 3-man front and bring both of them outside linebackers outside, when you get that run up the middle, you only have one guy behind you, your middle Mike linebacker. He has to make the play if it gets by. It puts a lot of pressure on those guys up front.
Witten going wide to the left on second down, and Witten makes the catch, but hit immediately and does not get a chance to get the first down. He picks up 10 yards in the process. Keith Smith, cornerback, on the stop.
Jason Witten is one of those rare tight ends that you can displace across the formation. You've seen Dallas motion him out the one play they did here with a little quick screen to the outside when the first penalty came up, and that time they've got him going out wide to the other side of the field, running a slant route down the field. So Jason Witten, he's one of the more athletic tight ends, gives you a lot of options at that position.
First catch of the game for Jason Witten. So it's third down and 2. And here's Bledsoe overthrowing Keyshawn Johnson, and they had a cornerback and a linebacker on the coverage. Fourth down coming up for the Dallas Cowboys.
They had a whole bunch of guys over there, and I know that Drew Bledsoe made the statement that, I've got to realize that sometimes I can throw to Keyshawn when he's covered, but I don't think he means that well covered. And he's got a safety, a corner, and a linebacker all standing there around Keyshawn.
So it's fourth down. Keyshawn Johnson with only 1 reception, that for 9 yards. So Matt McBriar will kick from midfield. And Eddie Drummond, fair catch at the 16-yard line. Each team has had the ball once here in the third quarter. The score remains Cowboys 13, Lions 7.
Fox NFL Sundays, sponsored by the all-new Lexus IS. Why live in one dimension?
Texas Stadium, and it has started to rain. Light drizzle right now as the Lions begin from the 16-yard line. Dick Stockton, Daryl Johnston, and Tony Siragusa. Kevin Jones, and the play is blown dead. And a false start. Call will be made against the Lions.
False start, offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Yeah, I feel your pain, Coach. This is a tough one to watch.
15 penalties, that one on Damian Woody. So who is it on?
Who is it? Tell me who it is.
A lot of these penalties that we're seeing from Detroit are aggressive penalties. You know, even though they're bad, you're going to lose some yardage. But, you know, it's nice seeing these guys being so aggressive today.
That's a good point. First down and 15. Back on the 11. Harrington's pass. That's always a dangerous one. Casey Fitzsimmons makes the catch, but Terrence Newman was right there, and you got to hold your breath thinking back to Monday night's game between the Cowboys and Eagles.
Yeah, well, at least there's something aggressive going on out there on the field right now, because that was not a very aggressive play call.
No gain
A little flat, yeah. A reception for no gain. You got to love those as a tight end or a fullback, because you don't get many shots. Get your name in the box score on Monday morning in the Detroit papers. Casey Fitzsimmons, 1 catch, 0 yards.
Second down and 15. Roy Williams, you see coming out to the bottom of your picture. Defended by Aaron Glenn. Got a good size advantage there. Harrington not looking his way, and let's see if a flag goes down as the pass intended for Marcus Pollard, the tight end, coverage by Roy Williams.
Looked like he got there a little early. They've got Roy Williams out to the other side, but their route combinations are on the right side of the field.
Very close.
What do you think? He timed it up pretty good.
That looked good to me.
Siding with the officials, and not a bad situation. Third down and 15. Crowd yelling for a stop by the Cowboy defense. Sean Bryson now in it back. Harrington looking for protection in the pass. Nearly intercepted by Roy Williams on a dive. And it was intended downfield for Marcus Pollard, the tight end. So it's fourth down, and the Lions will have to kick from the end zone.
Well, the big thing again is Joey Harrington is able to stand in the pocket and step up to throw. Again, that's good coverage by Brady James underneath, trying to fit that ball into an area. Willie Piles right there. Roy Williams is right there.
So Nick Harris to kick. Terrence Newman already standing in the Lions side of the field. Newman at the 44. And a terrific play made at midfield by Don Muhlbach, the long snapper for the Lions. Otherwise, it could have been big-time damage for Detroit. Cowboys, good field position when we come back. 8:24 remaining in the third. The Cowboys starting from the Lion 48. Again, Witten coming out wide to the right. Julius Jones not back for a loss on the play. And that was Wally Rainier starting again for Earl Holmes, and a loss of 4 yards. And you know what? The Lions hanging in there in a very tough road game, and Sean Payton dialing up the plays for the Cowboys.
We've talked about the injuries at the linebacker level, and Wally Rainier, I mean, that's a guy, one of the guys that's in there filling in. He has had a great game this afternoon. Nate Wayne caused a fumble. We've got some of these backup linebackers that have gotten out on the field and have played very well.
Not looking like a team without 5 defensive starters at all. This pass caught at the 45 by Keyshawn Johnson, only his second catch of the game. 7-yard pickup will bring up third down and long. I think the Cowboys felt, Daryl, coming into this game that after the close call, they were outplayed Monday, as you pointed out, against the Eagles. They've got a game Thanksgiving Day. That this was a game Bill Parcells felt that the team could really establish themselves, not only in the division, but maybe in the conference, as one of the real contenders down the stretch.
Yeah, and he was worried about Detroit. He had the mousetraps out at Valley Ranch where the team practices, and tell them, don't buy the cheese now, guys. Don't start reading everything that's out there. This is a good team. We've got to come out and play well, and they've been very inconsistent today.
Witten on 3rd and 6, and maybe the extra effort will give him the first down. Very heady play by tight end Jason Witten, who was tackled by Nate Wayne, and trying to lunge for the first down, and we will have a measurement to see whether Witten got enough yardage. Judging by the yellow line, he appears short.
I know it's not official, but it's pretty accurate every time they pull it out there. It's just a question of whether it's on the front or the back side of that yellow line, but it looked like there was another spot that came up a little bit short.
Well, they are short by that much. Fourth down.
What Detroit has to do is they've got to make a play to reestablish field position. The first 2 drives in the exchanges, they've been backed up. Dallas has been getting the ball out around midfield. Now, you would expect your offense to maybe get a couple of first downs and then be able to punt. You allow your punter to come out and try and reestablish field position. Now, Nick Harris has done a good job kicking backed up, but if the defense can make a stop right here, now all of a sudden you change the complexion of field position for the remainder of this quarter.
Lions already made 1 good stand on the goal line, forcing the Cowboys to try for 3. Bill Parcells very often goes for it here, and the quarterback sneak by Drew Bledsoe. And the preliminary signal indicates it is a first down for the Cowboys.
Again, I just don't think people realize how big a guy Drew Bledsoe is. And, you know, you get him behind those offensive linemen, he gets down low, gets a big push. He's tough to deny when you get into a situation that's just inches to go.
He can just lean forward and get the inches.
He does a good job. You know, he gets down there low and he's moving over to the side. And he's a big guy. You forget how big he is until you sit down to talk to him.
First down, Cowboys on the Lion 37. Bledsoe gets hit, still on his feet, tries to get it to Marion Barber out of the backfield. And it was tipped by Dan Wilkinson, Big Daddy in the play. And for a game break, let's go out to James Brown.
Hey, Dick, the Giants have allowed their first touchdown in 51 possessions by the opposition. Mike McMahon hooking up with Reggie Brown. It's now a 13-7 game in the third. Mike Allstott and the Buccaneers answering that Falcons touchdown with their own 2-yard dive by Allstott, his 4th touchdown in the last 3 games. Back to Dick Stockton.
Big battles, JB, in the NFC East and the NFC South. Second down and 10 on the 37. Hand off to Marion Barber. Breaks away. Barber driving for the sticks. Very close and may have it. James Davis missed Marion Barber on the first foray, and let's say they mark it for 9-yard pickup.
Well, here's what Tony was talking about. Look, there's your only defender. Look at the line of scrimmage right there. Now, when Marion Barber breaks through this plane right here, it is all on James Davis to get him down. And he doesn't do it on the first try. The guys are starting to rally around him, but you saw the point that Tony made. It was just the middle linebacker right there.
94 yards rushing by the Cowboys. They got a couple more with Drew Bledsoe. And the Cowboys with another first down. Flag thrown. So Bledsoe tried to get the Lions napping with a quick snap.
Two-hand. 12 men in the field on the defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
16 penalties, the most by the Lions in 35 years.
Steve Mariucci told us that Dallas is probably the best team we'll have faced up into this point this season. They've played, you know, Tampa Bay, Chicago. He felt Dallas as a team was going to be the most talented, and he's got to be so disappointed that, having talked to his team about that, to have them come out and commit 16 penalties to this point in the game.
Yet they're only down by 6. First down for Dallas on the 23 of the Lions. Marion Barber. And Barber is knocked away, and that was Wally Rayner. What a game he has played for this injury-riddled Lion defense. A loss of 2 yards, Barber, and that will bring up second down and 12.
You can't say enough about the job that the linebackers have done filling in with all these guys injured. Boss Bailey's out, Teddy Lehman's out, Earl Holmes is out. So here come your guys coming in. We've talked about Wally Rayner a lot, but Dante Curry's playing a heck of a game out there from the middle linebacker position, moving around. These guys have done a tremendous job filling in for the starters.
Keeping the team in the game without question. Again, Witten going in wide to the right, and the pass thrown to Keyshawn Johnson. Catches at the 20 and tackled at the 19-yard line. So Keyshawn gets 6 yards on the play with McQuarters and Davis.
Keyshawn's down there in the slot. He comes in, runs a little whip. Here he comes back out in between the coverage. Dallas is just getting back into that rhythm right now again. every once in a while they'll have a designed shot down the field to try and take advantage of something somebody does. Earlier in this drive, they had a double move on that was covered very well by Detroit. But what they're trying to do, they're trying to establish, their momentum onto the defense. They're trying to dictate tempo with ball control.
And of course, nothing really deep today. Everything has been underneath, most of it for Bledsoe. And Bledsoe again throwing a medium range to Keyshawn Johnson, who makes the catch. Should be a first down for the Cowboys at the 11-yard line.
Everybody says you want to get pressure in Drew Bledsoe's face, but you watched him today. He can make just about any throw out there. I mean, he's off of his back heels. He's got guys right in his face, and it's the same thing here. Watch, the pressure comes in. Everybody's backing up onto his lap. He has not had a lot of opportunities today to stand in that pocket and even step up to deliver the ball down the field.
He just went over 100 yards passing with that one. There you see Keyshawn Johnson, most consecutive games, catch for a first down, 80. And here is Marion Barber, and he is hit hard at the 10 after picking up one.
Unbelievable. I could see that whole thing unfolding before my eyes. I can't.
Another one.
James did that.
Yeah, James Davis, number 52. And, of course, a little lecture there given by Dante Curry.
Totally got baited by Dan Campbell.
Davis comes out.
There they are right there. Dan's going to get it up, give him the shove. They always catch the second guy.
You got to be a little bit more smarter than that. You got to wait for the officials to turn around. You got to do it. You got to do it right.
Discipline has been sorely lacking from
After
this
the
Detroit
play
Lion
was
team.
over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness defense, number 52. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Big shortcoming today for the Lions, their lack of discipline, and it's shown up. You can look at the number of penalties.
This team
the timing of them too.
Well, the team is not in a position to overcome this type of performance. The lack of discipline that you're talking about. They're not at that point right now. They need to play, virtually error-free. If they'd have just had 8 penalties today, think of the position they'd be in.
First and goal. Hand off to Barber. And Barber is hit by Wilkinson after Wally Rayner penetrated the line of scrimmage. A 1-yard pickup under 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Larry Allen and Dan Wilkinson are really going at it. I'll tell you what, Dan Wilkinson is really can't say dominating, but playing against Larry Allen very well, and that's a tough thing to do.
9 Pro Bowls for Larry Allen, and Big Daddy's been around forever. Picked up a sack last week. Second down and goal. Charges into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown, his second of the game.
Looks like Larry on that play thought he did a good job what you did.
Oh, they got in behind Larry Allen and Torrin Tucker, but I like the formation that they came out with. Look at, you got the 3 wides. You got 1, 2, 3 here. You bring your tight end in. Now remember, they got stuffed early in the game with 3 downs inside the 1. They go to a single back set. You start to think pass in that situation, and they run a single back run. And there's that crease that Jimmy Johnson was talking about on halftime. Marion Barber found the crease for the touchdown.
5-yard run for Marion Barber, and here's Billy Cundiff for the extra point, and the Cowboys now lead by a score of 20-7 with 2:21 remaining in the third quarter. From Marion Barber, the rookie from Minnesota, TD number 2 on the day. 20-7, there's Marion Barber, whose dad played 7 years with the New York Jets and grew up in Detroit and attended Chadsey High School. There's the scoring drive. Chewed up 6 minutes, and Detroit 2 penalties that led to first down. They have 17 penalties, only 5 below the NFL record. The kickoff to Eddie Drummond at the goal line. Drummond is buried at about the 21. And the Lions will go to work. They've got a lot of work to do right now as they trail by 13 in the waning moments of the third quarter. Back at Texas Stadium, you're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in HD and presented by DirecTV. Texas Stadium crowd in full throat right here as the Cowboys defense looking to stymie the Lions, who will start from the 21-yard line. Right now the Cowboys are in a 4-3 defensive front. Charles Rogers and Roy Williams are the wide receivers. Passing on first down, Harrington on the crossing pattern to tight end Marcus Pollard out of bounds, and a first down to the 32-yard line. And a flag back down at the line of scrimmage. So before we move the sticks up, let's wait. Another penalty.
Marcus Pollard threw that ball at the official a little bit too hard. I think they're contemplating on whether it was intentional or not intentional, but the official threw the flag right after he threw it at his face. I think you got to wave that one off.
He's trying to prove intent now. Remember, he's got a background in law.
They spend a lot more time when that clock ain't running and the money ain't running up.
Too many huddles today. It either is or it isn't.
I don't know if you need a conference after every penalty.
We've had quite a few meetings out there.
There were fouls by both teams on the play. Personal foul, roughing the passer by the defense, number 31, pushed the quarterback down and he went to the ground, which by rule is roughing the passer. There was also a personal foul by the offense after the play. Number 81, unsportsmanlike conduct, throwing the ball at the official. However, it did not hit the official, so he's not ejected. The foul's offset. Replay first down.
All right.
Well, at least now I know what the conference was. Here's the first one on Roy Williams. Watch, he's going to come in. He's going to blow up Kevin Jones and then get in, and he's going to push Joey Harrington to the ground, which by rule is roughing the passer.
Oh, my.
And now here's the second one.
And it missed.
He just made, no, you can't have a penalty if you don't have good hands. That's the official's fault. He should have caught that ball.
Prominent Phoenix attorney is Ed Hockley, who even practices his work on Sunday.
Oh, that was.
So they'll replay the down.
That was fabulous.
Oh man, what is this world?
Hey, you know what? Joey Harrington's talking with him right now. If he didn't get that from that explanation, he's never going to get it.
That was a flip. That wasn't it. He didn't.
And actually, didn't it look like it hit the official?
Oh, it did.
So,
but like Tony said, he didn't get his hands up in time.
He's got to get them stickum. Got to get some stickum on his hands.
All right, we go back in time to 1st and 10 of the 21. Kevin Jones moving the pile nicely and picking up 7 yards on the play.
There has been really no opportunity for either team to get into a rhythm. You know, we've had bizarre finishes like we had at the end of the first half that was kind of kooky, and then you have situations like that. And you know, Detroit, this entire start of the third quarter has just, they haven't been able to do anything to establish any type of rhythm. They've been backed up with field position.
Second down and 4. Roy Williams so far has caught 3 passes for 54 yards. There he is in the slot, going to him. He makes the catch, first down, and Terrence Newman wrestles him down, but not before forward progress to the 38-yard line and gain of nearly 10.
I mean, you know, Roy Williams, we've talked about his leaping ability. We've talked about, you know, his hands. You know, we don't talk about the strength. That's Terrence Newman holding you by the waist, and that's Keith Davis coming up to put a hit on you when you are totally unprotected. Watch this. I mean, Roy just, bam, just shrugs him right off.
Third game he's played in this stadium. He lost in a high school playoff game and also lost in a Big 12 championship game to Colorado while a member of the Longhorns. Handoff to Kevin Jones. Cutting up the middle and stopped at the 40 by Chris Canty. Shaken up earlier, came back in the game. A pickup of 2 for Kevin Jones.
You see right there how Dallas is controlling the game, and they've run 21 more plays than the Detroit Lions have. They've been able, but they're inconsistent too. They opened the game with a good drive. They've opened this second half with a good drive, but they haven't been able to maintain that momentum. We'll see if Detroit, as the fourth quarter starts, can do anything to take that away from them.
Scoring drives of 14, 13, and 12 drives back you up. That's the end of the third quarter, with the Cowboys leading the Lions by a score of 20-7. Cowboys have scored in each quarter, and we start the fourth. Dick Stockton along with Daryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa. Lions have lost their last 15 when they've trailed at the end of the third, so history does not bode well for them as they start from the 40-yard line in the fourth, second down and 8. Fake to Kevin Jones on the rollout, and the pass caught at the 46. Charles Rogers with the reception and his first catch of the game. So Charles Rogers, who many of you know, suspended the first 4 games of this year, suffered various injuries, broken collarbone during practice of week 6 2 years ago, broke it again. Tough luck for Rogers. 3rd and 1 coming up for the Lions on the 46. Fake to the fullback, and the pass caught by Kevin Jones, and out of bounds he goes. And a first down to the Cowboy 42-yard line. Brady James on the coverage. A pickup of 12 into Cowboy territory.
Well, you remember earlier in the game they ran a 4th down to Corey Schlesinger here, and they do the same action, but watch how Roy Williams bites on that. Just enough time for Kevin Jones to get out. He gets underneath him. You see the little slip right there, and it's just a nice touch pass by Joey Harrington, just enough to get over Roy Williams' head.
Harrington is 11 of 17. Good percentage for 121 yards. First down on the 41 of Dallas. Handoff to Kevin Jones. And Kevin Jones, who was average under 3 yards a carry in this game, picks up 1.
But he's always got that potential. They're trying to sway me. They're trying to get me off this thing that you should have one featured guy, and that the NFL has changed and specialization has finally caught up to the running back position. And I see the point in it. It's very hard. I mean, just look at Jamal Lewis and what he did at Baltimore. I just don't think he's ever come back from that season where they had 2,000 yards rushing because of the punishment you take.
Well, they got a guy in there, and Sean Bryson, who has gained 14 yards on 3 carries, nearly 5 a clip. Harrington on the slant, and the pass is caught by Charles Rogers. So Rogers getting into the act in a big way here early in the fourth. Picks up 11 yards and a first down to the 30, with Anthony Henry into the game for the first time covering.
Well, potential is one of those words that everybody as a coach really doesn't want to hear about. And I think when you look at the Detroit Lions offense and you see the potential, and you just don't see it on a consistent basis. Now, they got into a very good rhythm last week against Arizona. They've had it at times here, but this is really the first time we've seen Charles Rogers start to become a part of that.
And here's Kevin Jones with a couple. Both of these teams, you remember, were 6 and 10 last year. And look at the Cowboys now coming in tied for first place with a solid record. And the Lions, who have been struggling. That was a 2-yard pickup. Dallas 6 and 3 coming in tied with the Giants, who now are locked in a big battle with the Eagles. Had the early lead, and it's been trimmed. 2nd and 9. Lions on the Dallas 28. Harrington will go to Kevin Jones. He wasn't in good position where he grabbed the ball to gain much. Stayed on his feet a while, but is dropped in a loss of 3. And for a game break, let's check in with James Brown.
Hey, Dick, a pass interference call against the Eagles at the goal line gave New York the ball there. Jeremy Shockey frustrated that he hadn't caught a ball all day. Why not make it a big one? A touchdown strike from Eli Manning. Giants on top, 20-10. 12 minutes left in regulation. Back to Dick Stockton.
Both Cowboys and Giants leading and tied for the lead.
Philadelphia has dominated the NFC East for the last 4 years, and if they lose today, they will be winless in the division, which is shocking, more than anything else that's happened this year.
You're right. 3rd down and 12 out of the shotgun is Joey Harrington being chased, and the pass will go short and out of bounds, intended for Roy Williams. And so 4th down coming up, and Jason Hanson is going to come into the game for the Lions. Leroy Glover made it difficult for Harrington.
Well, Billy kind of threw up a franchise record going this direction earlier in the game.
And this is a 50-yard attempt for Jason Hanson, who has hit 2 of 3 from 50 and beyond this year. Longest 52. Hanson's kick will be wide to the left. Just hooked it a bit. Field goal is missed. And the Cowboys will get good field position as a result of where they tried the kick. And the Cowboys keep their lead at 20-7. Back here at Texas Stadium, 4 minutes have gone by in the 4th quarter. Cowboys leading the Lions 20-7. Cowboys, as a result of the 50-yard miss by Hanson, will start from their own 40. Julius Jones is the tailback, and he gets the call going outside on 1st down. And he goes out of bounds on a solid gain of 6 yards.
Well, that shows you how undisciplined Detroit has been. More penalty 1st downs than the Cowboys have gotten by rushing or passing. You're playing a team that you consider to be the best opponent you faced up to this point, and you're going to go out and give them 9 free 1st downs.
Plenty of time remaining, and the Lions 2 scores behind. Second down and 4, and the handoff to Julius Jones. Not much there. Well, last week was a very difficult, incredibly difficult day for Bill Parcells last Monday. Just forgetting about the football game, but he attended the funeral of his brother Don Parcells, who wore number 31 for Army, died at the age of 62, and that night Roy Williams, number 31 for the Cowboys, turned it around for Bill Parcells. An almost eerie coincidence with Bill Parcells' brother wearing number 31, attending the funeral during the day in New Jersey, and then Roy Williams, number 31, the hero at night for the Cowboys. 3rd and 2, Marion Barber has the 1st down as he gets into Lion territory.
You know, Coach Parcells telling us about his brother Don, the story when they were younger back in New Jersey when he was 5 and his brother was a little bit younger. They were going down to the beach and his mother came out in an all-white dress and his brother was on the side there with a slingshot slinging blueberries at her. So he was telling us that's the kind of guy that his brother Don was.
Well, he didn't finish the story, because when the white satin dress was now all purple from the blueberry, what did she do? She took her shoe off and she went after Don.
Well, you know, I didn't want to say that part, but I'm glad you did.
1st down for the Cowboys on the 49 of the Lions. And the handoff to Julius Jones. And you know, it's interesting, the other day Bill Parcells, in a wistful mood, telling us stories about his brother, who he idolized, was 20 months younger.
Start offense, number 62, 5-yard penalty, is 1st down.
Died of brain cancer at the age of 62, and he said, you know, the old story, you got to wait an hour after eating before you go swimming. He says, we used to go eat pancakes at 6:30 in the morning, and at 7:30 we go into the ocean, and we'd be there all day, both of us.
Once you get to that Jersey Shore, like a lot of us know, it's hard to get out of there.
It's a way of life, isn't it, Tony?
It really is. I can't remember ever being anywhere else in the summertime but the Jersey Shore.
5-yard penalty, 1st and 15, back on the Cowboys 46. Glenn splitting wide to the left, handoff to Julius Jones up the middle. And he gets to the 48-yard line of the Lions, gaining 6 yards. Marcus Bell, number 94, making the stop for Detroit.
You know, sometimes you can't discount those types of things. You know, the correlation between his brother's number and Roy Williams' number. And we were at New York when Wellington Mara had passed away, and to watch that team play the way they did that afternoon against the Redskins, you know, I'm a big believer in that stuff. It was an eerie connection what happened those final few minutes last Monday night.
Of course, Bob Tisch, the other Giant co-owner, passing away this week. Very tough emotional year for that team as Julius Jones loses a yard thanks to Kalimba Edwards. All the action right around midfield right now as 7:40 remains in the fourth quarter. And third down and long upcoming for the Cowboys.
Well, the one thing that the Dallas Cowboys have to remember is they can never become complacent at what stage they are in the game, because this is exactly where they were last Monday night on the other side of a 20-7 score. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of people in Philadelphia felt that game was over at that point, too. So they've got to learn how to finish opponents. We've talked about a few different steps they've taken. One of the ones I really haven't seen on a consistent basis is putting somebody away.
Third down and 9, pressure on Bledsoe, and incomplete on a hop to Terry Glenn. So finish today echoing what you're saying, Daryl, and you know, you got to remember the Redskin game. I mean, this was really I thought one of the toughest defeats the Cowboys have suffered in recent years, when they seemingly dominated Washington, had it won, and then lost on a Monday night.
It was impressive to watch them come back and play the following week, because it was a devastating loss, and Seattle was the same way. But I mean, you can't let a team hang around like this. You've got to find a way to put them out of the game.
Matt McBriar with the kick. Eddie Drummond will let it bounce, and the Cowboys will down it inside the 20-yard line. Just under 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Cowboys lead the Lions 20-7. Still plenty of time in this game, and the Detroit Lions, who only have 56 yards rushing. It's too early, I guess, Moose, to really give up the running game. It really is, but this is a very important possession, I think, for Detroit.
Yeah, they're definitely running out of time and opportunities right now.
Starting from the 18-yard line. Harrington on the screen pass to Sean Bryson. Bryson carries it out short of the first down by a yard. Brady James and then Roy Williams.
It even looks like we're jumping into a little 2-minute drill right here. So they know time is of the essence.
Eagles have climbed to within 3 of the Giants, 20-17. Second down and 1. Throwing on second and 1. And Rodgers making the catch for the first down at the 40 with Anthony Henry, who did not start the game but playing here in the fourth, a 13-yard gain.
The timing that's necessary to run the play this efficiently, you see how the ball is coming out of Joey Harrington's hands before Charles Rodgers has come out of his break. With all these wide receivers in and out of the lineup, and Joey and Jeff sharing reps as quarterback. Now, predominantly, the starter will get most of those during the week, but they haven't had the opportunity to establish the timing to take the next step in this offense. But Charles Rodgers having his best day of the season so far.
Sean Bryson, and he is wrapped up early by the Cowboys, and it's Greg Ellis, number 98, and of course, just to finish up the triumvirate, Mike Williams, who was the #1 pick out of USC this year, the 10th overall, inactive the last 2 weeks with injuries.
It would be something to see all 3 of those guys on the field at the same time, but then you've got to come up with formations. Right. Now you're going to have to get into some single back sets, and you know, does that get Kevin Jones on the bench and Sean Bryson becomes a more dominant player?
Second down and 9. Harrington completes to Roy Williams, trying to get to the sticks, but he's dragged down shy of midfield by Anthony Henry. So Henry making his presence felt in the fourth quarter, 7-yard pickup. And it'll be third down and short. Not easy to bring that guy down.
No, and Roy Williams wanted, I think he wanted a flag for the horse collar tackle at the end of this. It was awful close. We'll see if Anthony Henry gets his hands inside the shoulder pads when he pulls him down. It's kind of got
pretty close. Roy Williams wanted to be beneficiary of the Roy Williams rule. Third down and 2. Rodgers with the catch on the slant. Charles Rodgers, who was the 2nd overall pick in 03, gets 11 yards, and the Lions move into Cowboy territory and a first down. Rodgers now has caught 4 passes for 41 yards. Roy Williams with 5 leads Detroit. giving Brown screen pass, and that could be dangerous with no one looking back. Right now, for a game break, let's go back to James Brown in L.A.
Hey, Dick Stockton, Donovan McNabb's backup, Mike McMahon. Take a look at him, imitating Donovan very nicely, moving around, picking up some nice yardage here for the first down, plus feeling comfortable for sure. And then he takes it over himself for the Philadelphia Eagles, who now trail New York by 3, 6:16 left in regulation. Back to Dick Stockton.
Former Detroit Lion quarterback getting it done, and I think he fits into that system a little bit better than Coy Detmer, so probably don't have to change up a whole lot with Mike McMahon in there.
2nd and 10 out of the shotgun. Harrington gets hit from behind, and it's a free play. He was not in the act of throwing, and that win may have recovered it for the Cowboys, or at least pressured him. Cowboys recover. Greg Ellis with the pressure, forcing the fumble.
Joey Harrington steps in the pocket. Greg Ellis is coming from the back door. Gets it knocked out just before his arm starts to move forward.
Fumble all the way, and that win recovers for the Cowboys. Back here at Texas Stadium, where Steve Mariucci has challenged that last call. It was a fumble and ruled on the field. And, of course, challenging the call that it was a fumble and it wasn't a pass attempt by Joey Harrington.
The line of scrimmage was the 41. Joey's all the way back to the other 49. So that was a deep set in the pocket, and that allowed Greg Ellis to get around that corner. And even as he stepped up, he was still so deep that he could get up and get a hand on that ball.
Here is Ed Hockley with the verdict.
The ball was knocked loose in the quarterback's hand before his hand started forward. His hand moving forward pushed a loose ball forward, which was a fumble. The ruling on the field stands as called. It's Dallas's ball, first down. Detroit is charged with their first timeout.
So the Cowboys get it, the first turnover by the Lions, and it also cost Detroit a timeout with 4:18 remaining. Joey Harrington has completed 17 of 25, 169 yards, no touchdown passes, has not thrown a pick. Neither has Drew Bledsoe, which is unusual in a game like this for a quarterback. Neither one to throw either one.
What are you trying to say there?
In that kind of a game. Julius Jones. And Jones gets 6 yards as we go to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Dick, look at the maturation between Eli Manning and Plaxico Burress. 3-step drop. You would think it's going to be a short route. Instead, it turns out to be a longer route. Good move by Plaxico. 61 yards to pay dirt. It had been a 3-point game. Now it's a 10-point game. Giants on top. 6 left in regulation. Back to Dick, Daryl, and Tony.
All right, JB, and if things hold the way they are, the Giants and the Cowboys will both go to 7-3. Eagles at 4-6 in deep trouble, and the Redskins going against the Oakland Raiders. 2nd down and 4 on the Cowboy 43. Here's Julius Jones. Julius Jones protecting the ball, races to the Lion 40-yard line and picks up 17 yards before McQuarters and McGraw bring him down. Huge game.
Running behind the left side over here behind Larry. Now they had a stunt back to the inside. What a perfect play call for what the defense was running. The defensive line is stunting back to the inside. The offensive linemen are running to the left, so they created some great angles. Julius Jones just pressed the hole, and there was a gaping one there for him to get through.
Nice job by Rob Petiti and Larry Allen getting to that next level, getting on the linebackers. That's where you're going to go and get that extra yardage. It's the running back's responsibility to get through that front line, but everything after that is a gift, and they did a great job of getting downfield.
92 yards, Tony, for Julius Jones, and a first down on the Lion 40. And Marion Barber comes in and picks up a couple of yards. Kalimba Edwards on the tackle. So Julius Jones with runs of 17 and 18 yards today. Marion Barber picks up 2. And the Lions will call a timeout. That's their second. They only have 1 left. Time is running out on Detroit's upset hopes here at Texas Stadium. Lions with 1 timeout remaining, and no surprise, Moose, what the Cowboys are doing, using up the clock. Teams with leads just want to run the ball and use the time. Marion Barber is the tailback, 2nd down and 8 on the Lion 38. And here is Barber, who has scored 2 touchdowns today. Barber picking up 2 And a timeout called by the Lions, so they have exhausted their supply with 2:35 remaining in the fourth. Well, Marion Barber didn't start, but he has contributed. His first touchdown from 6 yards out made it 7-0. And the career best, franchise best field goal, 56 yards by Billy Cundiff right before halftime. This is Barber's second touchdown, 5-yard run. Cowboys led 10-0. Lead was cut to 10-7. Also noted in this game, the Lions 17 penalties, the most by them since 1970. Cowboys 9 first downs via penalties, second most in NFL history, and of course the longest field goal ever for the Cowboys. Cundiff with 56 and just signed last night.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing. Is it very fortunate for him to be there because they cut him in camp because of an injury, and actually this week was the first time they were going to be able to pick him back up.
He kicked very well last year. That should be noted as well. 3rd down and 7 on the 37-yard line, and coming out is Keyshawn Johnson, and he'll have the first down. So when you need the big play to keep things going, give it to Keyshawn on the toss, 8 yards. First down, Cowboys.
He gets the first down and then gets right to the ground too. Doesn't get over there towards the sideline where he can be shoved out and stop that clock.
And we're going to wind down to the 2-minute warning. Julius Jones, by the way, 92 yards, one shy of his season's high. There he is. Good running attack by the Dallas Cowboys. Great ball control by over 10 minutes. 20-7, 2 minutes remaining. Two-minute warning here in the fourth quarter, and the Dallas Cowboys headed for their 7th victory in 10 starts. They set the tone on the opening drive when they had 14 plays using up 8 minutes.
And there's the result of those types of drives they've had this afternoon. Bill Parcells not happy with the play on the offensive and defensive line last Monday night. He's got to be a little bit more pleased this week. They've really controlled the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10 at the 29. Marion Barber. Want to thank our production and technical crew, starting with our producer Bob Stenner and our director Sandy Grossman, the associate director Charles McDonald, our sideline producer Robert Slawsby, the associate producer Wayne Wilson, our broadcast associate Corey Brocious, the technical producer Bob Muller. Pre-game show was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons, senior producer Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports, Ed Gorin and David Hill. Thanks to our spotter Chris Visser, our statistician Rick Odioso, with Mike Elvis Eldridge and Bill Otipka working the numbers in the truck as well. 2nd down and 8. Well, what a difference a week makes, or a short week.
Well, it's all that line of scrimmage. You know, both sides of the ball against Philadelphia on Monday night. Dallas did not play well. That was why they went into the type of practices they had this week. And when you're in the middle of a stretch where you're going to play 3 games in 11 days, you know, the tendency would be to kind of back off a little bit. And Bill Parcells did just the opposite without going too far that way. He put them in pads and he did some drills from training camp, and they played well along the line of scrimmage, and evidenced by time of possession and rushing yards.
They ultimately did dominate this team, no question about it, and will go perhaps likely into a tie for first at 7-3 with the Giants, with the Bears beating Carolina 13-3. The Lions dropping to 4-6 will be effectively 4 games behind the leaders, as the Dallas Cowboys have won. They have won 3 in a row for the first time this year, and have won 5 of their last 6, losing only to Seattle by 3 on the